Yes, I shall be back. Till then, there should be no tears, no anxiety. Just go forward in all your beliefs and prove to me that I'm not mistaken in mine.
Oh, that was touching. Most touching, Frank.
Ah, yes. Beautiful.
Radio Free Skaro!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 1081. I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
I said 1081 because there's no disguising the fact that we are an old podcast now who have done well over 1,000 episodes. For this, kids, this is the 20th anniversary episode of this podcast called Radio Free Skaro.
To the day.
If you're wondering why it's, if you're in the UK and you woke up thinking, why is this thing out already? And if you're in North America, you're staying up way too late on the East Coast. We, on August 15th, 2006, at precisely 11:08 p.m. Mountain Time, we released our first episode right when the iron is hot. We thought, let's put it out right now when no one is up. That's what we did, Warren.
that implies planning that wasn't in place. We just kind of put it out.
There was zero planning.
Was it recorded that same day or earlier?
That's when.
I think it was recorded but lost in the mist of time.
Why would we wait? Listen, if you heard the tiny snippet of the very first episode, that's how we ended our first ever episode at that you just heard as a cold open 20 years ago. And like I listened through that episode a tiny bit. It's terrible. Don't listen to our first episode.
Don't do it.
Because, but
my
like
17-inch MacBook Pro's fan is heaving with the effort.
That's the thing. It's a fan that's going like oh my God, we didn't know how to.
Yeah,
like,
that was my old computer.
That was your old computer. It was like creaky internet audio. It predates Zoom. It predated Skype. I can't remember what did
we use?
It was it was a program that I don't remember what it was. It shared a name of another thing, kind of like Zoom does now. Zoom H6 is what we
Ecamm or something? It wasn't
Ecamm. It was something else that's like gone now. I don't remember what it was.
Ecamm made the Skype call recorder app.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but it was pre-Skype. It was pre-Skype, kids. We started this podcast pre-Skype, pre-iPhones. Oh God, who knows what?
Pre-Doctor Who?
Pre-Obama?
Doctor Who. I mean, Billy Gibson was like one when we started this show. It's pre-Obama, sure.
That would have been Harper, wouldn't it? Still Harper, I think.
No, it was, pre-Harper in Canada. We were in the midst of the Paul Martin era, so to speak. The prime ministership, just to keep it Canadian, of course.
You were still using Windows at the time, Stephen, which means whatever options you had to go with had to be cross-platform as well.
That's true, whatever it was. Also, who was the prime minister at the time? I don't remember.
That's Paul Martin. Paul Martin was the prime minister.
No. The UK prime minister.
Oh, God.
Because they've had so many since.
I think it was Tony Blair, because remember they had like
it must have been,
weird period of stability in the UK where they didn't change their prime ministers every 3 months. Like there were air filters or like Brita water filters, basically, is what they do now.
And just to bring it back to Doctor Who, now that he's retired.
Never. Whoa. What are you doing?
It looks like William Hartnell now, like Tony Blair does.
A little bit.
I believe it. So anyway, 20 years. We're doing a fluid thing. That's our big celebration because Chris joined a year later, and this has been the hosts for the entire duration of this podcast. So we couldn't really reunite old hosts again. We should have brought literally every single person who we've had on the podcast back for a special thing. But
did have some random person email. This happened more back then when people just said, I listened to this, therefore I'm very entitled. And it's not like the internet's gotten less entitled, but they said, you need to change your hosts up. I'm like, no, we're doing this for free. That's not happening.
Or like some people would say like, yeah, I'd like to be a host on radio. Really? Okay. Did you see an audition sign hanging out in the front of the door?
Rando?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen anymore. I'd assume it just, the podcast ecosystem now exists, so people just know I download and listen to it, or I make my own in the end.
Yeah. They could do their own. Although, really, let's be fair, one of those people was Chris. I can't remember, Chris, who did you, like, this is 19 years ago now, like, I can't remember if you said, hey, let me on the show, or if Warren and I just said, just bring him on, it'll shut him up.
It was the power of pedantry. Chris's pedantry was so strong that we had to bring him on. Was
that what it was? Do you remember it all, Chris? This isn't a trivia
Warren's
question. Right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Warren's right in part, yeah. Oh. Michael Allen, a mutual friend of Warren and I, alerted me to the fact that Warren was doing this Doctor Who podcast. So I started listening, and I started correcting and pedanting.
Sure
and, did. Emailing after pretty much every episode with all of what you said wrong.
Classic Chris.
And then
before we even had an email address, he tracked us down, kids. It was just crazy.
Well, he had my email address. So.
Oh, yeah.
Because we've been friends forever, so.
It's true.
And then I announced I was moving to London, and then I joined because I think there was perceived utility in me being in London with, boots on the ground kind of thing.
That's true. We were expecting so much from you, Chris. And
it was something along that line as to the history.
People should remember too that this was the podcast were barely a thing at the time. Barely. Like they just kind of started up, despite what Conan O'Brien will tell you, or his handlers will tell you.
Yeah.
Well, as Stephen is fond of saying, we were, to the best of our knowledge, the third Doctor Who podcast.
Yeah, one was German.
One was German, one which is called the WhoCast.
The
one
WhoCast.
Was Podshock.
Yeah, Podshock was first by a year. And then it was the German one, the WhoCast, which just celebrated their 20th anniversary in German. So I don't know what they said about it. And then us, I think. And I know there was like the DWO WhoCast was in there around the same time, and Tin Dog I think started up relatively around the same time.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And then a bunch that came and went, honestly. I mean, Podshock is no more. DWO WhoCast faded out.
Darwin on TV.
Those have been around for a long time.
Yeah,
there's still some of the old stalwarts around, like Staggering Stories, which aren't strictly Doctor Who, but I mean, mostly.
Yeah, not like us who stay rigidly on topic every single.
Oh yeah, boy, oh boy, do we?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we play around with it, for the, we are a Doctor Who podcast, but sometimes we'll veer off into various little improvisations, so to speak, as if we're jazz musicians, to quote Chris's favorite music art.
Really is.
Yeah, straight blowing.
There we go.
Got it there. We
checking off the bucket list.
Should get a bingo card. Should have get a bingo card after 20 years.
Greatest hits.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're Canadian, all right. We don't, as a species, Canadians don't really do our.
No,
we don't really look back as much as our neighbors to the south, for instance, at our history as much. So like it is
less of it for one thing.
Yeah, it's a little foreign for us to sort of like be a little introspective, but 20 years is 20 years. We didn't really have the chance to do it for our 1000th episode because we were on stage with Stephen Moffat and Julie Garner at Gallifrey 1.
Not a bad way to do number 1000.
Which, right? I mean, and that's honestly the big one. 20 years is just like, wow. Like, I was telling these cats before I stumbled upon some photos of me from 2005, and like, which, around the time when we started this, when we were starting to plan it, and I was just like, I was so young in those days, even though I was 31. Now I'm 51. For those of you who aren't in your early 50s, like we all are, just imagine, like, let's say you're 30 years old. Imagine starting something when you were 10 and you're still doing that every single week. There's probably
people doing that on YouTube. I guarantee somebody on YouTube is doing that.
Are there 20-year-old YouTube channels like who started? I don't know. That'd be a good.
It wouldn't surprise me if some kid started something at 10 and kept doing it.
Yeah.
YouTube started in 2005, so it's certainly possible.
It's possible, but like how many people have like done like week to week? Like this is a weekly. We last missed a week, I think, sometime in 2007. We've never missed a single week. We missed a week. I don't remember why it was, Warren. We did listen. Our tens of listeners back then did not storm the gates to demand
my
why.
favorite version of that is when you were stuck in some airport, I don't remember where in the States, and you did it by yourself because we could not coordinate getting us together because the Wi-Fi sucked or something. I don't remember what it was.
Minneapolis, St. Paul. Erica and I were flying back from a trip, and we got just over the Canadian border into Manitoba, and then we're turning it back for some reason. What's going on? Because one of the engines had failed, so we landed back in Minneapolis, St. Paul. At like 11 p.m. No other flights were going out, and the next flight you could get was like at 6 a.m. So you could go stay at a hotel for like 3 hours, or we could just find a place to crash on the floor in Minneapolis, St. Paul. And we had recorded, I think, the commentary, whatever it was that week. But there was no way that I was going to I can't do a Zoom call in Minneapolis, St. Paul airport at 11:30 p.m. on a mattress. With Muzak playing overhead and everything. So I literally just recorded a podcast lying down on a mat, looking up at the ceiling.
Bad, honestly, given the circumstances.
Right? Yeah. That's one of my only memories of doing this podcast for the last 20 years.
Sure, yeah.
Airport, and I mean, I'm the only one that has remained constant. I've lived in 3 different places within Edmonton. Chris has been London, Amherst, Nova Scotia, Edmonton. Warren, you've been Beijing. Remember you were Beijing for a while?
I had to use a VPN to get through the Great Firewall.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When was that, Warren?
In Tokyo?
I don't
2010.
2010. You were in... Wait a minute. When were you...
Yeah, because he rented out his place for the Olympics or something, I think.
No, I did not rent my place out in the Olympics. I'd be considerably richer if I did. No, I was in Tokyo for 3 months, and then I was in Beijing for a month, and then we just came back home. Because the job prospects were not good, much like today in Canada. So
yes, that's right.
Maybe I should go back to Beijing and get myself a job.
Back to Beijing and their brown skies and everything else. That's right. I forgot all about that.
Probably cleaner than ours now, right?
Yeah,
frankly.
That's true. None of us have children. There's another reason why we've done this every single week for 20 years, because we have nothing else to spend our lives on.
Yep. None of it by choice. We're all been rendered sterile by our recording equipment.
That's true.
Yeah, it was the recording equipment. That was what it was. Yeah.
It's why we abandoned that first call platform, because it made you sterile.
Exactly.
Whatever the name. I'd love to know what the name of it was. I remember trying to think of it.
Do not remember.
History of internet protocols. There's sirens.
See you, see me. That's what it was.
Maybe it was. Maybe it was
I got some sort of god-awful something or other happening outside my window.
I know. This is remember when there were seagulls all the time outside your window? I remember
that was when I lived in the West End, yeah.
That's right. You lived in the West End in Vancouver, yeah. We've been some places, on this show. Well, we're doing a big fluid link. We put the call out for a bunch of fluid links, both for the future Doctor Who, both for this show a little bit. So we'll talk a little bit about ourselves later on in this podcast. But 20 years is 20 years. It's a thing. It's a hell of a thing.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, but it's fun. I don't know about you two. This is just therapy now. But I don't feel like I want to stop ever, because I always want to talk about Doctor Who.
It's like a habit.
Well, what do they say? It takes 10 days or something to form a habit.
10 days, jeez.
And now it's 20 years, so.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sheer bloody mindedness. It's like, oh, you're not making Doctor Who? Well, we'll see about that. I'll still keep talking about it.
Right? And I don't feel like we've rarely run out of things to talk about.
Have we? Have we ever? I don't remember.
I know. We always seem to find something.
Maybe.
I mean, there's always stuff happening in the universe of Doctor Who, even when the show is not on, especially when the show is not on, honestly.
Well, I mean, today, for example, is that is it Riverside Studios, that David Tennant screening thing.
Is that happening today?
Yeah. And then in
Leicester.
In Long Island, there's Eli Who going on.
Yeah, the last Long Island Who. Ken has been on our socials. Ken sent us a lovely video of Peter Davison wishing us a happy 20th anniversary, and he sent us another one privately of Eric Luskin. I'm going to tell him it's Eric Luskin of New Jersey Network, who hosted these various Doctor Who documentaries in the 80s on PBS that I devoured.
Oh, same here. Yeah,
just
devoured. That's all we had access to.
Right, and so that was a special thrill. So a hat tip to Elihu, who are taking a break, not gone forever, taking a break
hiatus
after this season, hiatus, if you will.
They're going out to tender.
Yeah, there's lots of Doctor Who stuff, and I feel like this is probably, honestly, this is a side effect, because I would have just gone on and talked Doctor Who with you two every single week anyway.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like this might just be me speaking for the listeners at this point, but I feel like we're kind of your conversation that you might not have with other people about
that was
Doctor
us.
Who.
That was me and you in our TV station job. So
yeah, we didn't have anyone to talk about with regard to Doctor Who until Warren and I met each other, basically, and so we thought, well, let's just talk about it on the internet. Once you left to Vancouver, and now I imagine people listen to it like, well, I got no one else to talk about Doctor Who, because who wants to talk about Doctor Who? Oh, I know, 3 Canadians want to talk about Doctor Who.
Won't shut the hell up about it.
I'll listen to them. I can listen on 2 times speed if I want to, and that's fine too. So. Been a hell of a run. Long may it continue. Wonderful that the BBC decided to stop making the show, and during our 20th anniversary season, that's a special gift from you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, somehow we have news about a new show today. So
we do. That's Chris's way of doing a segue, everyone.
Well, I mean, yeah, it is, but basically, we don't generally get self-indulgent or nostalgic or the like, but we're letting that slide for today for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say we should let's move into
fair.
the news, and we'll talk more about ourselves later. I don't.
Yeah,
doubt.
I'm sure there'll be a fluid link or two that touches on it.
There are probably a couple in there. The news being, of course, we're talking about conventions and gathering and Doctor Who stuff. Gallifrey One, of course, celebrating their penultimate edition in 2027, announced some guests this past week, being Geoffrey Beevers, he what played the Master in The Keeper of Chalk, and of course has gone on to reprise the role in Big Finish. Daisy Ashford, who of course plays Liz Shaw, the role originated by her mum and indeed Geoffrey Beevers' late wife. And Toby Haydock, our good friend Toby Haydock, returning to Gallifrey One for the first time since 2015, did it say? 14? 14?
14?
14.
Wow. Longer than I realized it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that long.
I know. Toby and I have been in contact a lot over the years, but we realize we've only literally seen each other 3 times in person, 2 at Gallifrey One and 1 at the Chicago TARDIS he was at.
That's bananas.
So, yeah.
Wow.
So it will be good to see Toby again here at the end of all things. Toby's on stage probably this very second in Leicester right now for the Daleks Master Plan screening. So there we go. Gallifrey One happening, of course, next year, early February, around the time of my birthday again. Wonderful birthday present to spend it with a whole bunch of friends at Gallifrey One. So tickets, of course, are still available. So go to GallifreyOne.com. And you, too, can go to Gallifrey One in the nation that we will not mention here because we're having a good time, everyone.
Midterm sweep. That's what I'm asking for. Come on.
Closer to home, Catherine Tate. She's coming to Edmonton Expo. The weekend, September 18th to 20th. I seem to recall she was going to be here in the last year and had to
think so. Yeah.
Cancel, and that's why she's
that rings a bell.
Yeah. Edmonton Expo. I got to introduce her for both of her panels at Galley last year, 2 years ago. Can't remember when it was now, but that was cool. Being a pitchman, being a hype man for Catherine Tate. I'll take that to the bank. Yeah. But now the real news, kids. We have. I joke, but this is the first actual creative name assigned to a new Doctor Who series that we've had in some time, and that is Dominic Mins, who has been appointed creative director by Blue Zoo Animation. Them what are making that new Baby Doctor Who series, which we're going to call it now. Mm-hmm. He has also been the series director of Doctor Who. Now, this compelled me quite a while ago. Paul Cornell, writer of Doctor Who as well, told me that because I think he heard us musing about what Blue Zoo makes, and they make a show called Mojo Swap Tops, which I maintain sounds like a discarded lyric from Come Together.
It does.
By the Beatles.
Does.
it's about sentient construction equipment. I only know about this because I literally flipped through the opening of one of the episodes. Paul Cornell said, here are like 4 episodes, which I think might give you an indication of what Blue Zoo might do in regards to like Doctor Who-ish kind of stuff. I didn't watch the episode fully, but what I did see at the credits, the opening credits there, it says written by somebody, directed by Dominic Mins. So Dominic Mins has directed Mojo Swap Top. So it's like 3D animation style, that kind of that's
colorful.
Style.
That's what this will be too. Like, because that's just a thing you do with kids animation for a very good reason. The reason kids animation is very colorful is because that's what catches the eye of somebody that age. Mm-hmm. Like that's just all based on actual psychology.
Yeah, not like when you become an adult and everything is graded to brown and gray.
Exactly.
For some reason. Anyway, starting next week, we'll be covering each episode of Mojo Swap Tops on this podcast. No, we won't be doing that, but I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch them.
Of course you are.
What else am I going to watch, Warren?
I don't know. Ashoka season 2. It looks so good.
It's coming January 20th.
Christopher Nolan Batman movies or any other movie you haven't seen that's large and popular.
Yeah. Listen, here. You want to know what the great thing about Mojo Swap Tops? 12-minute episodes. 12 minutes. That's.
I mean, I'm all for that.
Right.
But
that's what Baby Doctor Who.
That's probably what these Doctor Who things will be too.
Baby Doctor Who. They actually said that it'll be 52 11-minute episodes is what it'll be.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and it's called Baby Doctor Who. So
it's not called Baby Doctor. Well, we don't know that yet.
We'll do what we did for Baby Yoda. We'll call it Baby Yoda for a year until they name him on screen, and then we'll just continue calling him Baby Yoda. So we'll call it Baby Doctor Who, and then when they call it like Time Lord Academy or something like that, it's just it's Baby Doctor Who. We already call it Baby Doctor Who. So
Time Lord Academy, totally Doctor Who's going to sue.
So Starfleet Academy. That's our terrible idea. Which, by the way, they've been trying to do Starfleet Academy since the
season
90s?
1 of Next Generation.
It's been a thing for movies for a long time, and and then they finally did it, and it fizzled out. So
going back to school is not always the best move forward for your science fiction franchise, as Doctor Who never planned until Baby Doctor Who. I have no idea what Baby Doctor Who is about. If it's going to be about a Doctor Who is a baby, or if it's a Doctor Who for babies. I
think the second one probably.
Why not both?
Yeah, why not both? Why don't be both? Don't have a Baby Doctor Who. No one.
What's going to happen is that people will just see this on whatever it's streaming on. Maybe let's say Netflix for the hell of it, and they'll go, "Oh yeah, Doctor Who, that baby show," and we'll be like, "Oh, here we are again. We're back where we started."
I remember.
CBeebies. I don't know if international stuff has been. Broached.
What is going to be the international streaming rights for Baby Doctor Who?
No idea.
No.
Not Disney. I'm pretty sure of that.
No, God. Thank God for that.
Although it makes the most sense for it to be on there, and other than the extenuating circumstances around it, but in terms of audience, you'd think it would make the most sense.
I would say that, Stephen, since we don't know if it's about Doctor Who as a baby or if it's Doctor Who for babies,
sure.
How about we split the difference? Doctor Who can have a baby companion called Poppy. And
I like where you're going with this.
Poppy
it all gets solved.
Have adventures.
Right.
Rose shows up,
and then in the 30th 30th anniversary year for the show,
right?
Down the line, Poppy can have a child called Susan.
Oh, God.
And
perfect,
something like that.
Perfect. But we won't understand it. So the very first scene in Baby Doctor Who will be, for some reason, David Tennant standing on a blue screen in front of a nebula explaining what happened with Poppy, so that we all understand what happens. This won't happen.
Stands to reason.
This won't happen. Dominic Mins, who I trust now, having seen 3.5 minutes of silent footage of Mojo Swap Tops, I think we'll have a better...
3.5 minutes. How did you not get kidnapped by people in a van offering you candy when you were a child?
Well, we never said he didn't.
I didn't.
That's true.
I feel like
they
even with that, he's got a better grasp on the future of Doctor Who than what you described. No offense, Chris. I know you're doing it as a joke.
Also, you grew up in the 70s, same as me. That's the golden age of people in vans offering candy. At least according to many a PSA on TV.
I know the PSA's lied. I don't know. I loved both Vans and candy and saw very few of either when I was a kid. So
you're in Camrose. There weren't that many of them.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Who doesn't love a van? I mean, they're like things you could go in. I love camper vans. Still to this day, whenever I see like a Volkswagen camper van, like that roof pops up. You can camp in that van. You can drive it. You can live in the van. It's like a mini Winnebago. It's really awesome.
Our Warren and my high school math teacher, who I lived down the block from,
right,
used to have an orange VW bus, and was always parked in his back driveway. And I'd go past that, and I'm like, damn, I don't know if that's cool or not, but
no, it's cool.
He was a math teacher. I didn't ever think of him as particularly cool, but
right,
he had a VW bus for whatever that's worth.
I think you could relaunch Doctor Who instead and just have it Earth-based, except the TARDIS is now like stuck on wheels and it's a VW bus.
Why would you do this to yourself?
Well, then you go in and then you like go into the back seat and then it's like the TARDIS. It's like an infinite size inside this VW. I think that would be
so. For our 20th anniversary, you started drinking in the morning. Gotcha.
Possibly. All right. Anyway, who knows when Baby Doctor Who is coming and where it's coming to? But it's coming to BBC. BB's obviously in the UK, but I look forward to watching it as best I possibly can here in North America because it's the future of Doctor Who for now, kids. Get used to it. Baby Doctor Who.
Hooray?
Yeah.
Question mark?
Hooray.
It's better than nothing.
It is better than nothing.
Hope.
Okay.
I hope.
We'll see.
Time
Hey, sonic screwdrivers. Anybody want to add to their collection of sonic screwdrivers? Well, we've got good news for you. There is a new limited edition 5th Doctor sonic screwdriver coming out, if not out already. It looks just like the 5th Doctor's sonic screwdriver for the 17 seconds of total screen time that it had in the Peter Davison era. If it's handy that if you put it in the microwave for 45 seconds, it will look like it did at the end of its life in the Visitation.
Now you need to get 2, so you have 1 of each.
I think your microwave might be in worse shape.
Yeah, it's true.
Post-pteroleptal.
I don't think there's any metal in this thing. I think you're probably pretty safe. But
I don't think you should put things that aren't food in a microwave. That's just my thoughts.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Do not put your sonic screwdriver in the microwave.
It says this limited edition role-play toy release features an electroplated steel-like finish.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what steel-like means, but
what is
not for microwave use?
What is electroplated? What does that even mean? I don't know.
That's using electricity to put them to bond the materials, which I'm assuming would be metal, but
I guess so.
I guess it doesn't have to be metal. It could be all plastic. Like the only sonic screwdriver I have is a John Pertwee one, and I'm pretty sure it's all plastic.
Mine is all plastic.
The contacts for the battery, the batteries themselves, perhaps.
Our 4th Doctor one's pretty sure it's the same thing.
Yeah, that's the sound of it right there. I bet you. This is my guess. I mean, buy one of these if you want, because this is like a few years old now. This Tom Baker one. But it's I'm looking at it, actually it's the same damn thing. I have it. I have the Peter Davison one. This is literally the same sonic screwdriver I'm looking at right now. So if you don't have one though, buy one. You can get it now. Or if you want, you can get the 8th Doctor sonic screwdriver, which is seen for about 6 seconds total in the TV movie.
I forget what it looks like even.
Well, so did Sylvester McCoy because he held it the wrong way around when he put so they had to blur out the sonic on it. Yeah, it looks very similar. But,
there we go.
Yeah, right. But not entirely like the 4/5th one. So, but that can also be. So if you're a collector of such things, and I know a lot of you cats are, and that's perfectly fine. You can get both of them now. That one comes out in September though, September 21st. So there you are. Sonic screwdrivers, baby. I love it.
Well, neat.
Love sonic screwdrivers. I remember when I first got one, I thought, I'm carrying a sonic screwdriver in my pocket, and this is pretty neat.
And it does about as much as the one on the screen.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead.
As a kid, I used to like improvise my own one, which was not made of parts that were at all in a sonic screwdriver, but it's what I had.
I didn't, but one of my favorite stories about a fairly sharp cat who Warren knew back in the day, Shane Turgeon, who is who was a renowned Star Wars collector and now is a renowned nature photographer.
Yeah, really good nature photographer.
But I went to see him in Calgary or something. I saw him in Calgary and at a vegan restaurant, and then I was walking out, I sort of had my sonic screwdriver like out here, and like I look at my sonic, look what it can do, and I sort of like hid my car key fob to unlock the door, and I sort of like look what it can do, and I pretended to open the door and then hit the thing, but he never saw me take the key out. And he was astounded and I thought he was just acting. And like literally a year later, I unlocked it like just my normal key fob, and he was in. Oh my! And he just started bursting out laughing. What's so funny? I literally thought that you unlocked your car with the sonic screwdriver a year ago, and I've been living with that and telling people that this is what you somehow did.
I mean, you probably could do it now.
Yeah,
you're like those people you'll see on the internet who have like a tap debit or credit card, and they enclose it in like a magical wand thing so they could tap with the magical wand.
The best one is Ewan McGregor admitted to this. He says whenever he goes to the grocery store, he does wave his hand with the 2-finger Jedi thing just because he can.
Yeah. I do.
I mean, you know what? If anybody's earned the right, I think it's Ewan McGregor.
I still that when driving, and I see somebody like maybe possible like edging out into traffic when I'm coming through. So I just nope. Wave it. Okay, good. You're probably going to stop anyway, but you probably think that because I use the Force on you, man.
There you go.
Stay there.
The only thing I'd use the Force for is to grab remotes from across the room. That's what it'd be abused with for me.
Yeah, I know. I tried, Warren. I have.
We all have. Everybody of a certain age has tried to use the Force.
I've trained to try to use that, and just nothing.
What, on a swamp planet with Yoda?
Yeah, told me off.
No, you should.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, Sonic Screwdriver's links in the show notes, radiofreeskaro.com. You can get your own. You can add to the collection. I have several, but let's face it, that's probably my favorite. So
it's the OG, baby.
Yep. Let's overanalyze some Big Finish artwork. Dark Tides is out now. Ninth Doctor Adventures. We probably overanalyze this one because it's using Eccleston and Billy Piper photos
of light
from 2005. So
looks like the Voyager and Tatters flying down
Star Trek Voyager.
Right?
Yeah, or Jabba Hutt's sail barge perhaps as well.
Why not both?
They kind of look like nacelles, don't they?
Yeah, a little bit. Anyway,
is this a crossover that RTD foretold?
Yes. No, it was not. That's out now from Big Finish. Coming October, though, the next Eccleston Piper one with Eccleston is called False Friends. What? Mm-hmm. With Doctor Who, as played by Christopher Eccleston on it. Billy Piper looking very stern in a photo from Dalek based on her coat. A red telephone box, not the TARDIS. What's going on there?
Big Ben in purple for some reason.
Is it in purple or is it just a purple light?
Well, it's just purple lighting is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just to throw it out there because I know we never ever do tangents on this.
No.
Why would we do that?
On top.
For anyone who has never gone to London and is eventually going to go, and you want to see any of those red phone booths.
Yep.
Number one, they're not as plentiful as they once were, obviously, because public payphones are not plentiful anymore.
Yeah.
And two, those that are around, they're better now than they were years ago, but they used to be filled with like little flyers for phone sex lines.
Just like in Vegas, they do that.
And urine.
Yeah.
So
you're really selling it.
I'm hoping not to sell it. But yeah, if you're seeing the red phone booths in London, just be prepared for phone sex ads and unpleasant smells.
Or pleasant. We're not kink shaming.
I'm not here to kink shame.
Yeah, why are you urinating phone booth kink shaming?
Yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Take
it back.
Oh.
If that's your bag, then
I'm just more surprised phone sex lines are still a thing. Like, what's going on here?
I think they just made payphones, public phones in Australia free or something. I don't know if it's the whole country or just parts of it. But they're not much of a thing anymore.
Oh well.
We should make them things again. I mean, nobody wants to talk on their iPhone anymore. Anyway, so just go to I have to get to a payphone talk to you. I can still surf the internet on this phone, but I don't want to actually talk to you on my phone. Gross. I'm going to go to this urine-filled, clear out some sex line ads and brave the stench of urine to give you a phone call in London.
Even in the 70s, phone booths were on their way out because there's a whole gag in Superman the movie where he's looking at like the phone in a little enclosed thing and he can't change in it because that's his whole deal, right? And he has to go into like a revolving door or something. Right. So that's the mid-70s that they were starting to phase this stuff out.
Yeah. Did we improve after that? The debate rages.
Yes.
Last
Mostly
bit
in your head.
Yeah, last bit of Big Finish over analyzing. Speaking of sonic screwdrivers, Peter Capaldi's Doctor Who is branching his into cover art for Run Fast, Be Kind, Duty of Care, which is out now. Of course, they're doing these things weekly, so there's a whole bunch of them. So there you go. Doctor Who.
I might have said this before, but I get real Turlo/Twink vibes off this new companion.
Yeah, I don't know much about him. Haven't.
He's got a sinister look about him.
Maybe he's trying to kill Doctor Who.
Yeah,
Russell T Davies already did that. Sing, yeah.
Oh damn! So you're Turlo now, RTD. Okay.
The T stands
Successful
for Turlo.
Turlo.
The T stands for Turlo. It all makes sense now.
All right, Vizlor, if that is your real name.
Vizlor just sound. Actually, I think Vizlor was the iPad that they had the memory TARDIS to watch Pyramids of Mars on.
Well, it is now canon, baby. Yeah, of our own design.
Speaking of Rob Shearman, I wasn't speaking of Rob Shearman. Isn't he? I think he's at LI Who this weekend.
Right
yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
His novelization of Chimes at Midnight, of course, is his epic, well-regarded Big Finish audio. It comes out November 5th. Remember the 5th of November. That is when the release of this will come out in the UK only, of course. We'll get into next week about UK release dates for books and how they might tie into things with regards to Circuit Breaker, but we're not doing that right now. So,
one last tangent.
Yes.
I'd like to do a shout out to Count Binface, who got 9,000 votes. Like, if it, straight out of people have come up to me and said, "Hey, this Count Binface, is that a Doctor Who guy?" Like, because he does look like an old Doctor Who guy. Let's be honest here. That's part of why we love him. A friend of mine said, the minute I saw this, I knew that he was Warren coded. Anyway, that's besides the point. 9,000 votes. The evil that won't be named got 22,000. But still, this is a joke candidate, and somehow he returned like Palpatine. So anyway, shout out to him.
He did well enough to get his election deposit back.
Yeah, exactly, which is all that really matters in the end.
Yeah, take that, Monster Raving Party. Maybe you should have worn a bin on your head and you to get somewhere in life.
They actually did have a little doll with bin face on it. Like, they were carrying around this little teddy bear with a bin face head.
Aw. Bless British politics.
I watched this by nefarious means on BBC at 9 o'clock, whenever that was, when the returns came in.
Yeah, I did too. All right, well, that's it, kids. That's it for the news. Hey, strap in. We're here for a little while longer. It's our 20th anniversary. What the hell? Let's have a talk with some Fluid Links.
Do you know what this is? Fluid Link K57.
Ah, yes, of course, the Fluid Link.
What's a Fluid Link?
No idea.
Thank you, Kef McCullough, for the theme tune off of the
Variations on a Theme.
Variations on a Theme, one of the only square CDs ever released in the history of music. I don't have the square one. I have the circle one. But
I have the circle one, too. Yeah.
Yeah. Back when I think CD players must have only been top loading or something like that, and you could warrant getting a square CD. But
you'd think so.
Well, the one I had at the time was a tray load. That would have been 91?
Yeah.
2 when I bought that.
I bought the Variations on a Theme before I got a CD player. That's how into it I was. But yeah, I know.
My first CD was Bryan Adams, Waking Up the Neighbors.
I don't remember mine. It might have been Sgt. Pepper's. That might have been why I got a CD player. Because it was a huge deal that it came out on CD.
It was, yeah.
And it was the 20th anniversary of it, I believe, as well. So
I don't feel so bad about buying a CD before I had a CD player when at least my first CD wasn't Bryan Adams.
Damn.
You're a very bad Canadian then.
Mm-hmm. I know. Well, that's besides the point.
That's true. First, anyway, we put the call out for Fluid Links, as we said at the top of the show, but that was a long time ago. We're now in our 21st year of Doctor Who now, based on this. So, we put the call out, Fluid Links. Ask us about the show, Doctor Who, whatever you want. It's 20 years. Here's our first Fluid Link. It comes from Thomas Falbo. Listen, I front-loaded a couple of these because there were ones I wanted to ensure that we got in there, because a few people actually asked this, because some people asked, Thomas Falbo won out, because basically, what is the story behind the name of the podcast and who came up with it? And also, we'll explain a couple other things about the genesis of the show, the theme music and everything like this. But Warren, you came up with the name of the show
I was
decades
trying to come
ago.
up with a good idea for a name, and then I just thought to myself, I was just noodling around with radio stations, I think, if I remember this correctly, and then I just saw Radio Free Europe and Radio Free, and I was like, well, that sounds cool. And so why don't we put the Skaro at the end of it? And it worked, because everybody else is called Doctor Who something or other, right? So I was like, well, why don't we make this a little different? And that's kind of as far as my thought process went, and it just kind of had a ring to it. So there you go.
And to clarify, it was the actual Radio Free Europe, not the REM song.
Yes,
it was the actual Radio Free Europe. My dad, more background, my dad had, and still has, shortwave radio. So we would listen to Voice of America as kids, and they would mention Radio Free Europe and all. So I kind of knew about that kind of stuff just from listening to stuff as a kid.
It was kind of like not pirate radio, but radio that you would get like out of like behind the Iron Curtain or something like that. Isn't that what
somewhat dodgy? Which as Canadians we're more unfamiliar with. So.
That's true, which kind of added to it. Of course, the helpful thing is that we're going to be cool and clever and not even have Doctor Who in the title, and no one found us. No one found us for 4 years. Then we added Doctor Who : Radio Free Skaro, and everyone found us. So
that was for SEO, and it worked, I guess.
Well, and Galley was the main driver of us people finding us too, I think.
That was a big one, yeah.
That's true. I want to make, so somebody asked what the fanfare at the end of each episode was. I'm not even sure we've ever discussed what it was, or if we have, it's been a long time.
We must have done.
Yeah.
Must have done.
But
on a commentary at least.
Yeah.
Or something.
If you listen, if you don't hit skip to the next episode or the next song, or just stop halfway through, at the very, very end of each episode of Radio Free Skaro, we've done this for years now, is this that little fanfare was the fanfare used for BBC Lionheart, which was at the end of each episode of Doctor Who, if you were growing up at a certain age and watching it on PBS, as we did. That's
which
what
was
that's from.
BBC wholly owned distribution arm.
Yeah.
Whatever that sold Doctor Who to places in the 80s.
Became BBC Enterprises, which became BBC Worldwide. That's what it is now.
With our Gallifrey One, like video credits, like in the auditorium or whatever, at least a couple people every time would wait to the very end to see the Lionheart logo and the music, which I always thought was great.
Yeah. We used the earlier one with like just sort of the black and white, it kind of looks like the old Royal Bank logo in a way.
Yeah. And it kind of comes in a little jankily, which is great. That's also wonderful.
Because it's straight from some YouTube rip. The one that honestly, it's the one with like the little zigzag line, which is the one that I actually remember more. But sometimes it didn't have the theme, the sound. It was just like the visual of it. I remember. It's kind of like a Star Wars moment, like when you watch another 20th Century Fox movie, and it starts the 20th Century Fox fanfare, and you realize what this isn't part of the Star Wars theme, because it's the same key and everything. Like I remember, like sometimes I'd watch the end of other BBC shows on PBS, and they also had the Lionheart logo. What? This isn't part of the Doctor Who thing? I didn't understand it. Anyway, that's why.
One thing, when the prequels came out and the 21st Century actually hit for the two of them, and they kept the 20th Century Fox, the old 20th Century Fox logo, I'm like, okay, these films have problems, but they did do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I know no one asked this, but the music. So the theme song that we have, we bounced around. We started off with Dominic Glynn's music for like the first few episodes because we liked it. Yeah, we did.
I think so. Yeah.
Because very early on, when did the change happen when you switched over to Doctor Who Confidential?
Oh, it was very brief that we used Doctor Who Confidential, like maybe a few weeks, and like
whatever was in front of us, basically.
Yeah, probably when it came out, I was like, this is kind of cool. It's like a short little news theme. We could put that in there. Yeah, is that what it was when you joined, Chris? Is that what you're trying to ask here? Or?
Oh, I can't remember.
Okay, all right.
I think you found the disco theme, Stephen. I don't think I did.
I don't know where. So the version we have now, I actually have. Last year, I found it on eBay and bought the actual compilation record that from 1979. that has supposedly Ron Grainer's vision of what the Doctor Who themes. Everyone is sort of like misquoted him. Like, this is what he thought it would have sounded like in 1963. I think 16 years had passed by the time that he maybe put this thing to record. I still don't know what band recorded it. It's kind of shrouded in mystery still to this day. But we thought this is a fun, catchy little opening theme that we could probably use.
It was cheesy. That was the main thing.
It was cheesy, and it wasn't as ubiquitous as like the Mankind Doctor Who theme. It was a disco hit, like in the disco hit in the late 70s, or like it wasn't like the KLF Time Lords song, which we now use as a commentary theme. It was something that I hadn't really heard before, so we thought, well, this is kind of unique. Let's sort of run with it. And like, we can never not have it now.
Well, it's like, not to big ourselves up too much, but it's kind of like how whatever the name of the actual song is from Monty Python, it is indelibly Monty Python's now forevermore. So
yeah, exactly.
Just remember that, lawyers, if you ever come after us for this thing.
And Journey of the Sorcerer by the Eagles belongs to Hitchhikers.
Absolutely, it does, and not the Eagles.
It's the only Eagles,
and that was
song
actually
I like.
It was one guy in the Eagles, and they all hated it other than him. So kudos to that dude.
Yeah, and they re-recorded it. They used the actual original Eagles song for the radio play, but it was an actual re-recorded version for the TV series, for what it's worth. But yep, the theme is we can never change it now because that's just what it is. People sort of like it's amusing to see, like, when people posted on YouTube, oh, hey, that's the Radio Free Skaro theme. I remember even when I first interviewed Murray Gold way back when, I just thought, oh, your theme song is amazing. You're just like impressed by the horns and everything else. But I just like, can't ever go back. So there you go. Radio Free Skaro came from pirate radio operations in Europe in the 1960s and 70s.
There's also, and I know this because the paper I used to work for has been around for literally 100 odd years, and some bright-eyed and bushy-tailed American executives in Ohio or Florida, or wherever the hell they were, like, we need to change everything around, rebrand it. Turns out there's a heritage rule for something that's old enough, and you can't change it completely without going through a long, rigorous process they didn't want to do. So I'm declaring a heritage rule on this one.
There's basically there's a blue plaque now on the Radio Free Skaro
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To go with our Canadian heritage moment.
Exactly.
Exactly. Where's our heritage moment? Our heritage minute.
Our hinterland who's who. How clever.
Ooh, very splendid one. All right, next fluid link. This one comes from our good friend Graham Kibble White, who not only designed our current logo, but also way back in 2016. It wasn't for that, but he gave us a neon logo version of it too way back when. And Graham's of course from the wonderful Through the Square Window with Samira Ahmed. That podcast is an instant listen for me, a monthly show. He's written in to say this: happy anniversary. Please talk us through the biggest ever production disasters that befell the podcast. And I put that in because I'm thinking, I had to think.
Episode 29, Echo Fest.
I don't remember that at all. I'm sure it happened, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, what was the deal? There was some echo, either it be feedback or it was through the whole episode, as I recall.
Cyloning, we had cyloning back in the day.
Yeah, and crack lore.
Good old crack lore. I forgot about crack lore, yeah.
Mostly on Warren's end, I want to say.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Yeah,
dodgy microphones, I guess.
Dodgy USB. I remember in the early days, Chris, you were on board for this too. I remember I had a headset mic back then. This is before we got the blue snowballs that became so ubiquitous for early 2010s podcasting. But
I had a PlayStation USB headset.
Is that what it was? Mm-hmm. I had this headset
PlayStation
mic.
Branded.
Oh, I had this headset mic that had a mute button. Like, it was like about the size of a hockey puck, basically. It was, and just hung like on like around my chest and stuff. So every time I got animated slightly, and if I even tapped it, I would accidentally mute myself. And so several times
that sounds very silly,
right? I know, like, you're gonna hit it, and I did many times because I got worked up, I guess, when I was talking, and so I'd often accidentally mute myself. I think we've only lost one episode, and that was like in the 20s. Warren, maybe. I think you and I had to re-record one, And that was
possible.
Literally it.
How about this? Without going into details about whose name we had to change, we did have a live show where at the very last minute, you had to do all the titles over again, and we had to scramble around to change things because one guest was not available. So
that happened.
That was pretty recent.
Happened more
that was a
than
couple years ago.
once.
That did happen more than once. I
remember our first... Wasn't our first live show altogether at Galley? It was one of the first, maybe the second one overall. Stephen, I think you were the Getty Villas or something like that, and driving back to the Marriott. You were on your computer redoing a whole bunch of
I remember
title graphics as well, because I forget who dropped out, but
Peter Harness dropped out. It was Peter Harness who dropped. It was a late scratch from Gallifrey 1. He's going to be on our show.
Well, even before that, I remember it's 2011, 12. No, it wouldn't be 2011. Anyway, I had talked to, it was when season 8 came out, so 2014. I got Phil Ford to come on, who I don't know why we didn't think of him coming on in the first place, and then we had him and who wrote Oxygen.
Jamie Matheson was on.
Jamie Matheson, he was. They were both, I think, late, or no, Phil was the late addition. Matheson was already scheduled, I think. Yes, perhaps, but
that one went through. I think because it was. I think that was. I want to say that was Radio Free Skaro. Behind the Magic was our theme, and that we was all behind the scenes people. And I think it was like Rachel.
We had there was no doctor at Galley, I think.
No, I don't remember, but I remember. I mean, we loved behind the scenes stuff anyway, so like it was right up our alley. I remember like Rachel Talley was going to be on, but then she was only going to be there for the Saturday and Sunday, and we were on the Friday, so that was out. And then Peter Harness was going to be there, and then he had to drop out like literally last minute at the actual convention proper. And so I think we were like, I think I remember literally messaging with Sean Lyon, I think, in the back seat of a 7-seater. Deb from Verity was driving from, as you say, back from the Getty Villa or the Getty somewhere. And I've got my computer with me, and I'm, because it's so desperately important to redo these videos for a live show.
It was important enough for you to do it. I mean, we're grateful you did.
Yeah, so, I'm sure there's a folder on a hard drive which literally has basically every single guest at Gallifrey 1 that year
just
had
to cover the bases.
I'm just going to do everyone. Let's do. Well, Andrew Cartmel, I think, was on that. I think he showed up eventually too.
Which year was it? There was one year we had. Was it Rachel Staunton, Nicobadsis? On?
Yeah, and they had to do extra. I mean, they were great.
And we had them slated for whatever amount of time. And the people who were supposed to be on after them were both, there weren't no shows, but they were like out shopping in Beverly Hills or some such. And just didn't make it back to the hotel in time. So we were thankfully able to extend the comics segment that we're doing, and the other two just never manifested.
Rachel Stott had one of my favorite all-time live show quotes, which is, I think you, Chris, asked, how would you draw the 13th Doctor? And she goes, with boobs. That was hilarious.
I feel like all of our our production disasters were basically just behind the scenes for our Gallifrey 1 live show. Like, I don't think there's been anything,
because it's a live show, that stuff happens.
Those were always going to be the most in flux for sure.
But I mean,
what's her name? The crazy person from
Patricia Quinn.
Patricia Quinn.
That wasn't a production disaster. That was
just a roller coaster of
amazing. One of my favorite moments.
She was an eccentric person, to say the least.
One of my favorite moments ever, I'm saying. I remember, I know we mentioned this, but it's been a while. But the first weekend of August, 2013, we were all unavailable, basically. Or you two were unavailable for the Sunday. Sunday-ish afternoon, live broadcast, I should say, on BBC Space and BBC America, the live reveal of who the new 12th Doctor was going to be. Yeah, do you remember this?
Yeah, I do remember this. And you texting me about it.
And we could not record on Sunday. I think we all had stuff to do, and so we couldn't record because it was going to come out, like we usually drop our episodes at 12 Mountain Time on Sundays. That's just sort of our hard and fast rule, apart from this one, of course. It was going to happen after that anyway, but both of you were out, so we couldn't record. So we literally recorded that episode on the Friday beforehand.
Yes, and we didn't know who the new Doctor who was going to be. We did not know
who was going to be. So
and then you inserted Mr. Black in there.
No, we didn't, Warren.
No. We talked about Peter Capaldi ad nauseum, and got so lucky that our guess or assumption was correct.
We guessed right. We 100% guessed right that it was the rumor of the day, and the booking sites were thinking, well, let's just go with Capaldi. Let's just talk about as if he's the Doctor, and we got away with it. So when he was announced, I was happy for many, many reasons. One of which that the episode that we're about to release that had us talking about it 3 days prior was actually bang on correct.
Lucking out.
Yeah. But yeah, relatively stable podcast record. I mean, even we've recorded guests over the years. But even then,
that hasn't always been the most straightforward of processes.
Not really, but there hasn't been. I feel like our first big guest remotely was Phil Ford, in the lead up to the Wars of
Skype,
Mars,
I believe. Yeah,
in November of 2009. And I feel like by then...
Well, that we already would have had him on at Cali in February 2009.
I'm just thinking of remote things, technically speaking, production-wise.
You could be right. I don't remember.
Yeah, I feel like we've mostly ironed out the kinks at that point, and we kind of... But even then, though, I remember, Chris, you were on the call, on mute, recording it as well... on Skype call recorder or something. We were just paranoid. We have to record this.
Redundant
right?
effort, yeah.
And now we just do this in our sleep because it's just,
Well, but then everybody does. The pandemic kind of shoved this in everybody's faces, so it's just kind of a given now, right? So
yeah, a little bit.
For just to go back a bit to the Capaldi thing and things that went well or worked in our favor, I guess I should put it. In 2009, when Barry Letts died, we did an emergency recording, if you will, and I don't know if he was less busy then than he is now, but one of us emailed Toby Haydoke and said,
I think it was Stephen that did it, yeah.
No, it was Chris. I think it was Chris, actually.
Was it me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoever it was, one of us dropped him a line saying, hey, we're doing this thing where we've decided to record an episode just solely talking about Barry Letts, because obviously his contribution to Doctor Who was massive. And yeah, on the drop of a hat, Toby's like, yeah, I'm in. And I forget how long we recorded, call it an hour or something like that, but yeah.
10 times better episode because of it, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I remember that because we record, I want to say, our regular episode at that point, again, this is just us reminiscing. Hope you're enjoying this, everyone.
That was a Friday.
It was a Friday
night.
We recorded a Friday night episode. Yeah, because we thought we're going to record this one on Friday. And I think it was literally a David Maloney Miniscope. I remember this for some reason. And then we had word that Barry Letts died, literally the next day. And so I think we actually put out the Maloney episode and then immediately put out on the regular Sunday, the Barry Letts Remembrance episode. So 2 episodes in a weekend, in 2009. Gosh.
Well, that's our 5 episodes from Galley, which we've long since gotten too old for. So
I think back about those days. It was the way that it was set up. We were... Sean Lyon was nice enough to sort of give us a table in the hallway near the green room, and that we could just sort of ambush people. It was very easy to get interviews, and then we would literally just poke our head and, hey, do you want? We'll just be right here. 10, 12 minutes, out we go. We got so many interviews in those days, and plus, let's face it, we hadn't talked to any of those people before now too. And after a few years, you eventually run out of people to talk to who are new. Yeah. But even then, I feel like we rarely had any technical hiccups or anything, when we did all that stuff. We were remarkably lucky.
October 11th, 2009 was when it came out, 2 days after the David Maloney miniscope.
Okay. There it is.
Which we so aptly called Maloney Sandwich.
I hope I came. I don't know if I did. I hope I came up with that one.
That sounds like a you title.
It does sound like a me thing, but I want to take credit if I didn't do it.
That's one thing that I always find amusing is it's not every instance, but there's so many times that if I'm looking back or one of us is looking back on an old episode and the title is whatever it is, 15 years later, we can still generally tell which of us came up with the title.
That's true.
We've each got our styles.
And I've had people come up to me and go, "You're doing the write-ups." I'm like, "Yeah, mostly, yeah." So if they, we can kind of tell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, October 11, 2009. I want to say I wasn't even home for that because that would have been like Thanksgiving-ish.
Canadian
and I want to
Thanksgiving,
say I was in somewhere in southern Alberta for like I think it was a family wedding or some such.
Oh, that rings a bell, actually. Yeah.
And I don't think I was even home for that. So I recorded with.
That's whatever. Why we recorded on. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, we are so young and hungry. Actually, the fact that we still do this every single week means we are pretty still young and hungry and do all this stuff. But
or obsessed. I think we know the answer to that one.
That's true. We're focusing our passions, Warren. I think is what we're doing.
Fair enough.
A little bit. But to answer your question, Graham, no real yet. Knock on wood. Knock on the balsa wood of this IKEA filing cabinet here. That we don't have any major ones.
Mm-hmm.
For now on.
Yeah, we've somehow been mostly issue free for 20 years somehow.
that's our new blurb. Mostly issue free for the past 20 years.
Quality is our goal. That was an actual line at a coffee shop next to my place. Quality is our goal.
Wow.
My girlfriend at the time was like, shouldn't that just be like the baseline? What's going on here, guys?
Just like, low bar that you're clearing. All right, next fluid link. This one, I wanted to put this one in here because you'll find out why. I was back in Maine last weekend at our friends, and I was going to pop in across the street to say hi to Chris Hayden and see what else he has in his closet, but alas, he was elsewhere that weekend. What else would you hope to have Chris Hayden uncover in his closet? This comes from J.C. Ferguson off Blue Sky. James, of course, who visited Maine. When was that? 2023, I guess. Now, and his friend said, "Oh yeah, my neighbor, by the way, is a guy who used to edit a film on Doctor Who. You should go meet him." And he met him. And James said, "Oh wow, I know this podcast. They're from Canada. I'm sure they'd love to speak to you." He posted this on I think the Incomparable Discord. Erica saw this and got in contact with me. Got in touch with James. I got Chris's email, and we had a great time. And of course, obviously, we found the War Games HD footage there that was in Chris's airplane hangar since 1969.
I like this, that we found part.
He found it, yeah.
He found.
I know, but we found it. I'm just. We are a podcast, is what I.
He was prompted to look, I guess.
Yeah,
we aided in the discovery of.
I mentioned it, and he actually just mentioned it in the pod. It's in the episode, whenever that was, September of 2023. And the interview clip itself is actually on the War Games Blu-ray if you want to watch it there. So that James
is kind of crazy that our podcast is mentioned and featured in a Doctor Who Blu-ray. I still can't get over that one.
Well, and
September 29th, 2024 is your interview with Chris Hayden.
There, that's when it came out. I recorded it the 24th. I remember that just because it sticks out in my head. Anyway, thank you, James, for that. All those months and years ago, however long it was, you helped bring that HD footage back as well. What else, though, would you want Chris Hayden to have? According
to the blurb for that episode, RFS 980,
right?
Chris Hayden, who speaks with Stephen about working on Planet of Giants and the War Games. So, if he only worked on those two, then I guess we'd have to hope for something from Planet of Giants?
Well, he mostly didn't...
more from War Games?
He didn't remember the Dominators, I think. I think he also worked on the Dominators. Obviously, I mean, what was he, 21? 21.
We can fictionalize this. He just absconded with a bunch of them. Which one are we picking?
I wish to hell that he would have absconded with the original Part 4 of... and Part 3 of the Planet of Giants. Mm-hmm. He edited those two episodes together. When the BBC said, this is slow, could we just edit together the final two episodes of this story and make it a 3-part story instead of a 4-part? I mean, that is... Can you imagine if he had that as well? Maybe he still does. He probably doesn't. The fact that he remembered that he had the War Games in there. But so that's the obvious answer. That or unreleased Quark footage, I think, would be a bonus for anyone, really.
Yeah, exactly. VFX tests of something. Costume tests of the Dominator outfit.
with Ronald Allen looking very angry at Kenneth.
I mean, I'd be angry in that outfit too, frankly.
That's true. Yeah.
You want shoulder pads? We'll give you shoulder pads. Don't worry.
Where'd this guy from Brooklyn kind of show up in England in 1960, whatever?
Morris Barry goes...
Excuse me, what are you doing? Get out of here.
Morris Barry, the director, goes to Ronald Allen. Why
is this interloper?
Why are we doing this in a Brooklyn accent? Can we do this again? Anyway.
It's still more understandable than the Quarks were.
That's true. Yeah.
Space pirates. He found it underneath a shelf or something.
That's God. Listen,
I'm just pandering to you at this point.
I know. Well, you mentioned the space pirates. I mean, I think I've mentioned it on the show before, but on that. So what the story is? I'm sorry to rehash, but some people don't know it other than the in joke that we have now. But this reel of film that Chris Hayden had basically stuff that he edited for the BBC before he left in the summer of '69. Not to sing the Bryan Adams song.
All comes back to Bryan Adams.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah.
To go find work in America, which he did. But on that film reel was location footage that he had edited for the War Games, mostly from episode 1 and a bit into episode 2, the cliffhanger. But also, I don't know if I've probably mentioned this in the past, maybe I haven't, but there's also about 4 minutes of footage from a show that is no longer in the BBC archives. That's the only existing footage we have of the show. I don't remember the name of it right now. I could find it easily. But the director of it was one Michael Hart, who directed the Space Pirates. So there is an actual Space Pirates connection. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. This is the thing. When you find a new Doctor Who episode like that, instantly goes to DVD or broadcast or something like that. If you find 4 minutes of location footage or something from a show that doesn't exist anymore, I don't know what they do with that, but hopefully that's back in the archive.
Goes to Vam Heaven.
Yeah. Maybe it'll be on the Space Pirates DVD when they find that, in someone's attic somewhere.
Yeah. Maybe. Sure.
Yeah. There we go. All right, next fluid link. This one comes from Scooter Bennett on Blue Sky. If there were 5 toys in a Mr. D Who Happy Meal, Doctor Who, Happy Meal run, what 5 toys would you like to see representing? Yes, they can be in the style of the 80s knockoff Transformer ones. I think it'd be fun to keep it in the 1980s. Like, imagine a Doctor Who Happy Meal run. And
just throw Daypole figures in there.
Just Daypole? I don't know. I think
no. I like when the Black Hole came out in 1979 or whenever that was. They had action figures that came in Rice Krispies, and they were just basically plastic stands with like the characters on them, like Bob and Vincent and Maximo, and the robots, basically, right? So something like that, where it's obviously so knocked off that they can't be bothered to pull them out of the mold. Here's the mold, kid. Shut up. Here's the name underneath it.
They got to be cheap. They got to be really cheap.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which is better, honestly.
If we're sticking to the 80s, like my first thought would be like sonic screwdrivers over the years, but we only have, not much in the 80s.
What do kids want with a stick?
Outside packaging means we got an Earthshock themed Happy Meal, and you open it up and you've got those robots, because they're really easy to make. They're just blank robots, right?
The androids.
The androids. And then you could also have like basically just some sort of cylinder that's painted like a Cyberman gun, because those are really cool guns. And you could also have those helmets that are reused.
I don't know if you want to give guns to children in Happy Meals.
Well, it's just like it's a little...
Although to be fair, there are ashtrays on the tables in the McDonald's at this hypothetical situation that we're looking at.
How about we do like an E-Space trilogy toy set? You could have
least bought Happy Meal in the history of the world.
Here we go.
You could have Marshman. You could have Marshman. You could have the Starliner. You could have
the Warriors Gate. That's what I'm waiting for.
You could have the Tharls,
time traveling lion.
And the package is just white. There's no labeling or anything. It's just a white package, like the white box, Happy Meal box.
You could have the Great Vampire.
That'd be great. 3 little figures of the 3 of them. That'd
Decayed
be awesome.
Master, or no, there's got to be like an Argolan in there or something like that. Everyone loves Argolans. Maybe a cactus. Watch out for the cactus. They will be. Actually, the cactus would be the 6th one, and they would actually pull that off once kids like poke.
Because it
was 1980. Obviously, kids are going to get injured with Happy Meals.
And somehow, if you put them all together, they turn into a radio telescope that you can throw your Doctor action figure off for him to regenerate.
A really terrible looking one. Like it doesn't look a thing like it.
Yeah, and of course it's a tie-in with the summer. They had to do it. Here's the thing. Here's the scenario for this: is that they had a Happy Meal planned to tie in with the 1980 Summer Olympics in Moscow, but then the U.S. boycotted it. Says, quick, what do? We got to get something to fill it in. I know, 1980 Doctor Who, and that's where that comes in. So,
and in a bizarre twist, the only McDonald's they're available at, the Sandbaggers McDonald's on Victoria Street
in London. Perfect. Which
I have been to, just because if you can tout your accomplishments, I can tout mine. I've been to the Sandbaggers restaurant, McDonald's.
I guarantee you, the next time Erica and I go to London, we are going to that McDonald's.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to the prisoner's front door next time, which will be in about a month.
I guarantee you the next time I go to London, I will not go there.
Yeah, but you've done a ton of this kind of stuff.
Maybe, though.
That's true.
That's true. Maybe, Chris, you can find that Happy Meal, and maybe you can finally complete that radio telescope. Next Fluid Link. This one comes from John R. Holler on Blue Sky, frequent contributor over the years. Happy birthday. How do you consume the Blu-ray sets when you get them first? What order? Do you watch the documentary first, or the new effects, or the behind the sofas?
We've prattled on about this before, at least Stephen and I have. And, so, Stephen, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'm ashamed at my. It is my one and only failing as a human being is
it's your one and only thing saying you might not be autistic.
Yeah, right. I in that I just
or a bad fan.
I jump around my sets, and then, which means I often forget about stuff, and I haven't watched stuff, and then I kind of put it away, and then I forget about it for a while. So like I literally just jump around. I think I want to watch maybe this documentary, and then I'm going to go over this one and watch that documentary. And then if I'm editing podcasts during the day, I'll put the episodes on with the info text on, and I'll just have them out of vision so I can look over and stuff. And maybe eventually I'll get to some other stuff. It's very higgledy-piggledy. I regret in the early days of the DVDs, I would used to watch them with the commentaries on and
that's madness.
Info text, and I couldn't. I thought I could do it, and in retrospect, I can't
absolutely
pay attention to either. So I'm a bad DVD fan. I love the DVDs, but I need to properly appreciate them. And the next pilgrimage that I do will be I will fully watch every single thing on the Blu-ray regarding each story per disc.
Can I give my chaotic take? Because I know Chris is much more orderly than I am. I'll watch documentaries first.
Yeah.
Then maybe I'll watch commentary. Sometimes I'll watch the new effects, but mostly it's a documentary. The new documentary is before anything else. And then I'll kind of go to the episode and maybe watch the new effect or not, depending if they have them. And that's kind of it. And I go scattershot all over the place. I don't have any real plan behind any of it.
Right. Okay, so Chris. Even more scattershot than mine, because you don't even buy all the Blu-rays and stuff either.
No,
so.
I don't even have all of them. That's right. No.
I mean, how many have you bought, Warren? 4 or 5?
3 or 4, I think.
Yeah, only a handful. Yeah, Stephen and I have.
Looking at them, have bought 4 on my shelf.
Them all.
Yeah.
Here's a gold star for mathematical excellence.
In some cases, we have multiples of the same one, because I was gifted a season 9 set.
Is this a brag or a confession? What is this?
And Stephen, you bought the UK season 2 set, which turned out to be fortuitous.
And I think I got sent 2 season 20 sets, and then I got a third for some reason. So I have 1 set on the shelf, and I have 2 season 20 North America. So Peter Davison season 2, still in their shrink wrap, free to a good home. Next time I see someone. So
I still have a Doctor. I can see it from here. I've got a DVD copy of The Web of Fear sitting here unopened. We should pool these things and I don't know, give them away.
We should. Yeah.
To me, I don't think I have either of these things.
Well, here's the thing about being in Edmonton. We are kind of an oasis of Doctor Who. And anyone who listens to this podcast is probably going to be and is in Edmonton probably has these things anyway. So they're tough to give away. Do you have season 20, Warren?
I don't know. I'd have to take my headphones off to go look.
Oh,
I
don't
have
bother.
Peter Davison, so I don't think I do. I only have the latest. No, I have 2 Davisons. I'd have to check. I'll check.
Okay.
Afterwards.
Well, let me know.
You have 21 for sure. We know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This copy of Web of Fear, Warren, if you want it when you're in town.
Yeah, sure.
You're welcome to it. Because I bought a copy and Stephen bought me a copy, so I got 2. Anyway, just to round out the Fluid Link, I watch things in order. I say in order. So my way of consuming them is, it all depends. So I'll watch the story first, but even then there's an asterisk insofar as it depends on the last time I watched it, or if depending on what version it might be. So for season 21, for example, there's two things. One is Warriors of the Deep. I skipped watching the story because I watched it at Warren's place some months back.
Oh, yes, that's true. Yes.
Yeah.
And B, we had just done the commentary for RFS for the special edition of Warriors of the Deep. So
We did.
I watched neither. I just dove right into the
Well, that makes sense. Yeah.
into the VAM.
How did that feel,
But-
Chris? How did that feel? Skipping
Fine.
over a thing. Is it okay? Okay.
That's just cruel. You're being mean now.
No, I just wondering.
Fine.
Very curious.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not that of a, I'm not quite that much of a purist.
It's good. It's good. Test.
And then it's into the VAM, and so what I'll do is I'll have usually a couple web pages open, featuring the VAM that came on the original DVD release back 20 years ago or whatever, and then what's on the Blu-ray, and then anything that was on the DVD for special features, with very rare exception, I won't watch on the Blu-ray because I've already seen it. Some stuff I have rewatched because it's just good. Like whenever I get around to buying the TV movie, I will watch the 7-Year Hitch again because it's fantastic.
Oh, it's great.
fantastic.
Any
it's
Ed Stradling documentary on previously released DVD is well worth a watch. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then
that might be the best one of all time, I think.
Yeah. Very,
So
very
Documentary
we'll,
wise.
we'll watch the story. I say we because usually Kat's there alongside. We'll watch the story, and then the first thing we'll do is watch Behind the Sofa, because that's Kat's favorite part of anything. And then go through any of the new VAM, and then when we're done, next disc. Just go do the discs in order. The second thing for season 21 is I watched discs 1, 2, 3, and then went to 5.
Whoa.
Because 4 is the 2-part version of Resurrection.
Yeah.
So
yes.
we decided we'll watch the 4-part, so that's on disc 5. So we watched disc 5 and then the VAM there, which is predominantly Janet Fielding related stuff. Jump back to 4 to watch Behind the Sofa and other stuff there. And then on to disc 6 and then in order after. So
I never watched Behind the Sofa.
Right
I
now
don't know
we're
why.
we're on disc 9. Last night we did the 2, the 5th and 6th Doctor escape room things.
Oh, see, I haven't even watched one of those. This is a problem. This is my problem. Is I haven't even watched those.
Because you missed these, yeah.
I miss them. Yeah.
So, but yeah, generally it's story, and then Behind the Sofa, and then VAM, and then next disc, but doing the discs in order with rare exception.
Right. Wow, it's impressive. But I mean, like I said, though, next time, and there is going to be a next time. Next time I go through a pilgrimage,
Of course there will be. Come on.
it's going to be very thorough. Like they've even recorded new commentary tracks, so there's like duplicate commentary tracks for some episodes.
some
now on
stuff,
the Blu-rays. Yeah.
Some stuff it's the full story, some it's just the occasional episode.
Yep.
But yeah. still
Watch
new
them all,
stuff.
even if it means watching the episode 2 or 3 times to get everything in.
Because goodness knows we've never done that.
Never,
No, not once.
Never done that. Well, there you go, Admiral. There you go. That's our 3 personalities right there in many regards.
Chaos, Order, and Maniac.
Maniac. You decide.
It's up to you to choose who's who. Yeah.
Exactly. All right.
Dibs on order.
Next fluid link. This comes from Stuffin' Nonsense. Oh, this could be a big one.
Good name.
Stuffin' Nonsense on Instagram. The 3 who rule are the new producers of Doctor Who.
Oh,
You
no.
don't want us. No.
Terrible idea.
No.
BBC bosses are nervous,
With good reason.
understandable, and are looking for tried and tested stories. You must choose 12 stories and a Christmas special from existing stories from 1963 to 2022.
Dang.
Which story introduces the new Doctor best? How do you avoid the mid-season lull? What's best for a series finale? 12-part story and a Christmas special. Wow.
So basically, what's our favorite Doctor intro? What's our favorite Doctor departure? And our favorite Christmas?
That seems reasonable.
and 10 stories in between there. You know,
Yeah.
Let's start with intro and departure then.
I'd say intro and departure are definitely the places to begin, yeah.
11th hour. That's how you start a show.
Yeah.
That's how you start a show.
Very good intro. Yeah.
I think that's yeah. Although, as I've said before, once upon a time, I didn't care for it at the time, but retrospectively, I don't hate the way Eccleston's Doctor was introduced in Rose.
That's a pretty good introduction, given the circumstances.
I love it now.
Although once upon a time, I did noodle with the idea of doing a 2-minute Time Lord of why the TV movie was a better gateway to Doctor Who than Rose.
Absolutely not.
But,
okay.
But Rose is good. 11th Hour is probably the epitome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so well put together.
And as much as I love Capaldi, and as much as Capaldi is your favorite Doctor, Stephen, or well, so you say, there are things I definitely do not like in Deep Breath that I would never want to grace the screens of Doctor Who again. Like, the Matt Smith phone call.
I love the Matt Smith phone call, so we're going to disagree on that one.
So back in the day, somehow, so season 8 was a weird one. I forget if I think it was the script that leaked, as well as we had the Marcelo Camargo,
like the first 4 or 5 episodes. Yeah,
at least up to listen. We had the Marcelo Camargo versions that got out, which were incomplete visual effects or no visual effects,
and in black and white, as I recall,
and in black and white.
Yeah,
and I want to say scripts made their way out there somewhere.
Pretty sure you're right about that. Yeah,
because I seem to remember reading the script for Deep Breath before it went out and hating the Matt Smith phone call scene in that, and sure enough, I didn't like it in the broadcast version either. And then I wasn't a big fan of the whole scene with Brian Miller, where the Doctor's in the alley trying to figure out why he has that face and all that. But no, sorry for the ramble, but 11th Hour definitely takes the cake.
Yeah.
But I want to defend the phone. I thought the phone call was very clever and interestingly set up in Time of the Doctor. So
it is narratively, it's a bridge, not just for Clara, but for the viewer as well. And structurally, I understand the reason behind why it's there. I just don't like it.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, whereas I thought it was really clever and cool. So, and nobody had ever done that before, really. So,
no, that's true. Maybe that's why I don't like it, is because it's not.
Well, it doesn't fit the remit of what we're doing right now. That's for sure. Because apparently, if the BBC wants, first of all, us, but secondly, just to repeat old stuff, come on.
Let's face it. I think I think pretty much all of TV industry just wants us to repeat old stuff. So this is actually
true too. Yeah,
very relevant.
New and original content is no longer allowed in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, that's why we obviously got to go with Time Flight as the season finale. I mean, what a lead in. What a lead into the Christmas special where you bring Tegan back somehow.
It is a real Surf Dracula of an episode. So.
I mean, the easiest thing would be, here, put your favorite 12 episodes in one season. And I said, no, you gotta get a great intro, sure. Great finale, probably. Maybe something in the middle. But then, listen, it's kind of like when you're doing like a salary cap in your little hockey pool or something. Like you are on a bit of a budget here. Like, we can't just cram in the 12 biggest, best episodes. No. We gotta get some filler in there. That's the stuff I'm looking for.
Well, let's go with, we need a funny one. We need like a sad one. You need one that sort of bridges things along, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Well, sad one, I'm assuming most people would say Vincent and the Doctor.
Yeah, that's fair.
Would we? Maybe.
I would say, I don't know if we would. I think most people would.
I think City of Death is our mid-season
for sure.
Peak right there. We throw that one in there. Maybe we should just try to limit it to like one per Doctor here at this point, just to keep us on the straight and level. Yeah, Heaven Sent is like almost perfect as a penultimate sort of story,
and it's very self-contained more or less. So in the very end, so
kind of is, yeah.
Inferno is a great third Doctor one, and it's also kind of self-contained.
I think Inferno is great, like as like episode 7. Story 7, just because it's got
the alternate universe, so it's like if you're just watching this, you kind of are more familiar by this point. If you watched all 6 beforehand, an alternate universe, this kind of stuff the Doctor does, whatever. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good third Doctor story to throw in there. Well, let's see. Where would you throw a Hartnell story, and which one would it be? Would you throw Dalek's
I'm struggling with. Yeah.
No, that's our cheap one. This is our cheap one. This is the Edge of Destruction. Edge of Destruction goes fourth after the first.
Edge of Destruction or T/A?
No, we're not doing Mission of the Unknown.
Why
not?
We need to have a cutaway, a Dalek cutaway, perhaps.
Like a Dr. Light episode in there. Is that what you're saying?
It's the definition of filler. So let's do it.
Need a Dr. Light, and also something to set up the inevitable spinoff.
That's true. Basically, Doctor Who, Dalek cutaway, assignment Earth kind of thing. Okay, I get it. Okay, that's in there somewhere too, and it's also it's not quite the cheap filler episode. Like we got to save some money here too. All right, I mean these are some pretty big episodes we got here.
Underworld, cheap filler episode.
Cheap. That's it. No, we already have City of Death is in there. We can't take City of Death out.
All right.
Underworld wasn't cheap. It just looks cheap.
How about The Awakening? That's cheap. Let's get number 5 in there.
Yeah, you know what? I like that. Yeah, let's get 5 in there. Awakening's in there somewhere. Honestly, it's the cheap episodes that I find the most charming. Like the ones that we shoot all on location. Delta and the Bannermans are McCoy.
Black Organ would be another good example of that.
Delta Bannerman's like third, I think. That's going third. Just okay. Sure. You know, okay, we got you hooked. We know you're gonna turn off, so we're just gonna have a little bit of fun before we ramp it back up again.
Which is exactly what people are bashing Strange New Worlds for.
That's true, but
that's why you don't put us in charge of this thing.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
What don't we have? We don't have a Colin Baker.
I was trying to think of what that would be. Time of the Rani? No, not Time of the Rani. Sorry,
Mark of the Rani.
Mark of the Rani. That's what
I like. Mark of the Rani. Historical, because you need a proper historical in there. I think that's a good historical one. You know.
Okay.
And it introduces the Master and Rani, obviously. So
there we go.
Well, okay.
Hope you're writing all this down. I'm not.
Of course not. No. So if we have a Dalek thing with Mission to the Unknown, what's Cyberman story do we
gotta get a
we have to have a Cyberman one.
The one Invasion.
Invasion. Wow. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Because you got all the British hallmarks and it's very 60s, and
that's true.
We haven't
not
picked,
out of nowhere.
We haven't picked a Troughton yet, so that works.
And proper unit too in a way too. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Invasion.
Like Tomb of Cyberman is too esoteric for what we're doing here. So
yeah. Okay. I like that. All right. We got Pert with Inferno. We got City of Death. We got Awakening. We got Mark of the Rani. We got Delta and the Bannerman. We got TV movie, obviously.
Because there's only one choice there.
Yeah.
Or Night of the Doctor, which doesn't make any sense.
You know what? No, I think we're gonna actually. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cram in Night of the Doctor into Mission to the Unknown.
Okay, that's fair.
2-part.
Okay.
Eccleston. What do we do?
Town, just to confuse everybody.
I think something like Dalek might be too much.
Yeah, because it's a reintroduction of the Daleks.
We haven't had a Dalek episode.
Oh, well, in that case, let's do
Dalek
it then.
Cutaway.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah, Dalek Cutaway. Oh, Dalek Cutaway is actually a prequel to Dalek. That's the thing. That's the thing about it.
There you go. Yeah. No, I like that idea.
And then we got Tennant, that guy.
How the hell did we miss that?
Can we put the end of time in there? Can we justify?
Why would we do that to ourselves? Put Midnight in there.
Do we have a finale? Wait, do we put Midnight is kind of cool. Actually, you know what? Midnight. We need to save some money, and Midnight's a filler episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Tennant gets a filler.
True.
And it's a very, very good filler episode.
Yeah.
Turn Left was also done.
Oh, that's true too. But that depends more on lore knowledge than Midnight does. Midnight is just kind of self-encapsulated. So.
Midnight stands on its own.
True.
Maybe we end it with City of Death. Actually, City of Death is the finale. I think that's how could you top
That's a good way to end it because they're just waving and being happy. And
yeah, exactly.
Well, thinking back to like regeneration stories, for example, top of my list, probably Logopolis, or no, we got Caves of Androzani in there.
Yeah,
Caves of Androzani is an all-timer.
Yeah. Which I'm
Wait, no, hold on. Yeah. 15's regeneration. Come on.
That's. What about the Christmas special? Which I mean,
my favorite is A Christmas Carol of all time, but I don't know if that fits.
I think it does.
We had don't forget we had our bracket style competition for Christmas specials.
Yeah,
was that a couple of years ago?
Yeah,
maybe. And
was it last Christmas or that one that came out?
Yeah, but that was like that fits as well with what we're doing here.
Last Christmas was the winner overall, if memory serves.
Yeah,
but it's a little too dark for what we're aiming at here. I think.
Christmas Carol is just that's the real Christmas. Like the end of first season, that's the one.
It's the most Christmassy one for sure.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Well, after recently, and I say recently, some months back, going through seasons 5 and 6 again, my answer will never be The Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe.
No, that's not good.
Ever.
Well, that came after Christmas Carol, right?
Yeah,
that was a year after. That was a year.
Totally suffers from following up on Christmas Carol.
Very true.
Which is just so well put together. Like, it's perfect.
Well, it was also an Amy and Rory Light story, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But anyway, yes, Christmas Carol, I think, is certainly a viable choice.
Right?
It fits the vibe, I think.
Yeah, does. Great story, and it's on Christmas. That's the two things in that order that I think a Doctor Who Christmas story should be.
Smith, Capaldi, and Whittaker? We didn't, did we?
No, we didn't. Oh, yeah, we're going to go Whittaker in there.
Thought we did do Smith, 11th hour.
Smith was 11th hour.
Oh,
right?
Capaldi and Whittaker.
Oh, can we put Haunted Villa Diodati in there, please? Capaldi's Heaven Sent.
You said Heaven Sent.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Village Diodati.
Whittaker.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, I could.
So now we have
that.
3 to choose from for 14, and then we have...
No.
Whatever.
Up to 2022,
Oh,
Warren.
okay. Never mind then. Okay.
The rules of the system, the Disney era, does not exist.
All right. Sounds fair. It's been memory hold. Exactly. Is it even still on Disney Plus? I have no idea.
Well, we'll see. After D23 this weekend, who knows? Who knows? All right.
They did not announce War Between the Land and Sea as far as I know.
Shockingly not. No, they're still waiting on that. All right. Next Fluid Link. This one comes from Ethan Williams 176 on Instagram. If the meddling monk decided to interfere in Canadian history, which event would you try to stop him from changing, and which event would you help him change?
Oh, help him change?
Stop him and help him. Two different events. Canadian history.
Help history. Oh, the FLQ crisis always leaps to mind.
Indian Act. Stop that from happening, because that's just racist as hell.
Maybe.
I don't know how the meddling monk would help with any of that. Was he going to get in Parliament and make a speech? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I know.
And he's also probably kind of racist. It's a meddling monk. Come on.
That's true.
So sorry. Okay, so it was help the situation, and what was the other option? Sorry.
Which would you
stop
help him
something
change?
from happening? Yeah.
Help him change.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, obviously, he'd go back and try to prevent the 1972 Summit Series from going Canada's way. Which he did at the beginning, because Canada lost like the first 2 of 4 games on Canadian ice, and they were booed off the ice. So clearly, that's the meddling monk, doing something there until Canada finally got their game together and won the series in Moscow. Look it up, kids. It's a famous Canadian story. I have a rare sports one. Okay.
So in 2010, we had the big shindig where we had the opening thing for the Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
And Wayne Gretzky goes to Jackpool Plaza, and there's like these pillars that come up, and one of them just doesn't come up, and so it kind of looks like the usual Canadian 3/4 but assing it. so I want the meddling monk to fix that, so that we get the triumphant RTD1 music that happens when it happens. Yeah. Just like when the Doctor lights the Olympic torch, and he whispers, don't you think he looks tired, into Gretzky's ear to dissuade him from being an ally to Donald Trump. That's
true. Yeah, to stop being a golf buddy with Donald Trump. That's a great idea, actually. So that's when we're helping him. Basically, that helps too.
We're helping Gretzky in 2 different ways.
Yeah,
and the Olympics.
That's the Gretzky moment you picked versus him being sold to the Kings?
Oh, I don't care about that.
Yeah, no, I'm more concerned now about the aligning with Trump. Yeah, yeah, I like that. I like that, Warren. Good work, and it's local. It's Vancouver based, and it's it's a memory that we have from watching.
And just
the gold
as a side
games.
thing, they put him on the. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say it's not just local anymore, because at least for the Canadian coverage, I don't know if this is worldwide, but the Jackpool Plaza was shown a crap ton during the World Cup.
Oh yeah, because it's a great view. I walked by it off the plane during all that. Just to parade the Canadianness here for a second. Gretzky's on the back of a pickup truck getting driven to this thing through downtown, and these yahoos are behind him yelling and screaming and hooting and hollering. I'm like, oh, that's Canada, baby. I just feel so proud to be Canadian right now. Also, this had happened right after Katie Lang belted out Hallelujah barefoot, and I'm like, that's our cool-ass lesbian. Yeah. You can't have it, the rest of the world.
What a wonderful
And Hallelujah was written by Leonard Cohen.
Exactly, yeah. Very Canadian. So. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, don't you try to change that, meddling monk. What do we want him to change? What do we want to
keep away from Katie Lang?
So that's what we were trying to help him change. We're helping him to change that bit. Now,
what went well that he was trying to pervert that we need to say?
Well, I mean, I don't want to go both hockey, so I withdraw my Summit Series comment. Let's see. Well, obviously he's trying to orchestrate something with this upcoming Alberta referendum.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
No, Tommy Douglas and universal health care.
There we are. He's trying to stop it. He's trying to change us into American health care.
He's trying to stop it.
No way.
Yeah. What a riveting episode that would be. Doctor Who saves health care.
Mm-hmm. And then whispers to Tommy Douglas, "Hey, maybe drop the eugenics," because he was into that, which is very disappointing.
That's true. We kind of airbrushed that a little bit.
Yeah, we definitely do airbrush that out.
And somehow, I don't know how it's going to fit into the story. We can get Kiefer Sutherland to guest star in the episode
as the meddling monk.
Maybe, because Tommy Douglas is his grandfather.
Exactly. So there we are. Oh,
Canada's small, people. It's small in so many ways.
I mean, it's even weirder that Donald Sutherland was the son of Tommy Douglas. It's hard to wrap your head around that.
His Donald Sutherland's wife was the daughter of Tommy Douglas.
Gotcha.
There it is. Yeah, Canada's small, but yes, also very large in the same ways. You might even say bigger on the inside, even though it's the second largest nation on Earth. All right, next fluid link. Phil Cannon of Who's He podcast has asked, who has been your favorite or most surprising guest over the last 20 years? Apart from me, of course, he says.
Well, I think Chris Hayden's got to be up there for the impact and exposure.
Bill Stanley. People still talk to us about that.
Who's Bill Stanley? Explain who Bill Stanley is.
2011, we did this... episode of... It
was our Doctor Who Day adjacent episode, as it called, around the 23rd of November,
Yeah. There was... Well, that was different. Sorry, I thought I was conflating that with another one. Anyway, so Bill Stanley, Bill Stanley was the program director for KSPS Spokane PBS, back in the day. I want to say in the 80s, but I know he had the job long after that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bill Stanley was also at least enough of a Doctor Who fan, or enough, whatever to. He was often the main face for the station in pledge drives. So we would see him a lot, and I had the grand idea once upon a time of us reaching out to him and having an interview and talking about Doctor Who broadcasting back in the day. And whenever it was in 2011, we did that, and I still remember him printing seemingly document after document, and making so much noise during the
Somebody in the house was using the printer.
Or a fax machine or something, yeah.
Something like that. So it was kind of distracting in that fashion, but it was fantastic as a nostalgic content thing for us, and at any rate.
And nobody else, except it turned out it was.
So that's got to be up there.
Yeah, it's weird to, like the video that we were talking about earlier of Eric Luskin of NGN wishing us the 20th anniversary, which you won't see again, sent it to us privately, which you're telling you about now. But those special weird personal connections that were also like public at the same time, like those are the like the targeted attacks that I think are the most, satisfying, I guess. I mean, I've been lucky to interview a ton of people. Thanks to this podcast. And
oh god, yeah.
Often, as great as it is to interview doctors on stage and companions and everyone else, I mean, sometimes it's like I enjoy my conversations with Simon Guerrier, for crying out loud, just nerding out about Doctor Who. Or Mark Ayres has been on the show, and we've talked about his music and also like sound that he's done, and like Dudley
and
Simpson,
his
like
Shada stuff. Yeah.
Like, there's been so many different topics to talk to Mark Ayres about over the years that has kind of been, fun and surprising in a way that we could get so much out of that. So, yeah.
Yeah. Or even Ed Stradling, or, I mean, you talked to Murray Gold once upon a time, which was kind of a big deal.
Didn't you talk to him twice?
Yeah, Murray Gold twice, yeah.
Right.
And he remembered the first conversation despite not like talking to me for like 5 years in between. It was crazy. Yeah.
We also did our like Canadian Doctor Who retrospecticus thing with Mark Asquith, who formerly of Bell Media Space.
Yeah.
Creator of Prisoners of Gravity.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mark Asquith, who was worked for Space, who used to show Doctor Who starting in the 90s.
Yeah.
Down to him.
Yeah. And then showed the modern series when it came back. Yeah.
And Graham Burke and Mike Doran.
Yeah.
Talking about, well, I forget what we talked to Graham about. Mike was Doctor Who conventions in Canada.
Yes.
I forget the specific topic for Graham.
Was that our first time talking with Graham? Graham's been on the show a few times.
First time he was on the show.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
I think so.
That was like episode 247. Am I right in that?
I know I was still in Nova Scotia at the time.
Yeah.
And so it would have been 2011 as well, I want to say.
I remember interviewing Michael E. Bryant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good interview.
That was a good interview.
Director of Sea Devils and other things. And I remember I think I had another podcast like an hour and a half after that I had scheduled. I think that's fine. These things all, if I can get to remember 6 things about Doctor Who, I'll count it as a win. An hour later, this man is sharp as a tack. Like, this is like, he's in his 70s at the time. He remembers
this is 40 years after he did the stuff, too.
Right? Mm-hmm. And it was just like, and I'm realizing, like, I'm pushing up the clock, but I don't care. I'm just basically, I'm going to be a little late. Sorry. Michael E. Bryant is telling me about this ghost he saw in Wookiee Hole shooting Revenge of the Cybermen. That was one of my, and I met him again at the gala that you weren't at, 22, I think it was. He and Margot Hayhoe were on a panel with me, and I just I can see Michael E. Bryant again, damn it, and that was just great. Yeah.
Yeah, and on a similar tangent, Graham Harper, 2010.
Yes,
Gallifrey 1.
We talked about that last week very
recently. So Phil Ford was nice enough to go and fetch him for us, and we were told, okay, you've got whatever it was, 15 minutes or whatever it was, and then Graham Harper kept saying, let's go longer, let's go longer. That was very very charming, very endearing.
Yeah. Yeah. We've been lucky.
Moffat for the number 1,000.
Oh my God, Moffat. I mean, I would happily talk to Stephen Moffat again on this show. Yeah.
Yeah. I miss
there's very little talking we need to do. He's just very eloquent. So
yeah.
I miss sitting and drinking with him and stuff like that.
The pre-showrunner days back before.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Actually, the first time I met him, technically he had been. I think he'd already agreed to take the job, but it wasn't public yet, so we didn't know that.
It was known for quite. It was in the works for quite a while before we ever found out about it. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we've definitely been lucky. And I mean, Stephen, as you kind of alluded to, you've done the lion's share of these interviews, and so I mean, really, the question should be, what was your favorite of the lot?
Oh, I mean, some of them haven't made it on the podcast because they've been at Gallifrey 1 live. I mean, I know you two weren't in the room. And I know I've often spoken about it as, almost a joke now, but I mean the Eccleston interview, which was his first ever proper sit-down interview since he left Doctor Who. And I had it, and it was on stage, and everyone in that room had...
And then COVID hit.
Well, no, everyone in that room was waiting 16 years to welcome him back into the fold to Doctor Who, and I still remember... I had the brainwave, I think you should come out through the TARDIS, because I think that's a symbolic, meaningful thing that you were actually coming out of the TARDIS again, because he and Doctor Who were so separated for so many years, with so much animosity between he and the people who made it. And I remember saying, do you think that would give him a kick? It's like, yeah, that would give him a kick. And the place went nuts. They went nuts for him, Another one, I know, Chris wasn't here for this either. I feel kind of bad, but the Chibnall interview.
Yeah, that was kind of a last minute thing.
You just didn't tell me about that happening.
It just because it was just like, it's happening now. Like, okay, like we got to do, we got to happen. Like, it's got to happen
the
now.
The opportunity was there. Yeah,
we had to take it. And, he came to our room, and like we had, like I'd set up the mics beforehand in the off chance that we could get him. But the second that Paul Cornell introduced Warren and me to him on the Thursday night, we realized, okay, this is going to happen. Like within a minute, I think, okay, we're going to
lovely guy.
Just and like that one hit because that was his first proper sit down interview since he left Doctor Who.
Yes, it was
anywhere. Like he hadn't been, I know he's done podcasts and other interviews since, but that was basically his exit interview. In fact, the name of the episode was the exit interview. And like speaking of Graham Kibble-White, he helped me with us with the transcription. Then Erica cleaned it up because I think it was done with like some software or something like that. And Erica helped tidy it up, and like we got a transcript out for everyone who wanted it because a lot of people did. And like that one kind of blew the doors off a little bit too. So you know, we've been lucky that we've had some of these kind of like scoops over the years. Not necessarily, well, we've had some news scoops too, but you know, the big interviews over the years have been pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean,
and mostly down to luck, frankly.
From a personal standpoint for us, like the first time we had Philip Hinchcliffe on the live show at Galley, like that was pretty cool. That was our 12-year-old selves losing their respective
poop.
Or
Terrence Dix.
Oh, Terrence Dix.
Yeah. Wow.
Even Terrence.
The CEO.
Speaking of Graham Burke, I remember talking to Graham after the Terrence Dix thing on the live show, and Graham remarking how Terrence just basically told the same stories he always tells.
That's fine. That's not
very
a problem.
true, but I mean, still, he told them to us.
Exactly. Yeah.
Especially guys like Terrence Dix who are no longer with us, and so we no longer have that opportunity, and it's kind of sad.
I know it's amazing that we have had so much of our Doctor Who connections and fandom and opinions basically recorded over the past 20 years, and that we can actually, if we ever wanted, like, what did I say to
I
Terrence
don't want to know.
We find out.
Well, we've had interviews of a sort with Davison, Colin Baker, McCoy, Eccleston. I guess that wasn't really on the podcast. It was his own separate thing. But Eccleston and even David Tennant.
Yeah, when did you interview Tennant? It was got to be Stephen who did it.
He didn't.
I did.
Stephen phoned in.
Oh, that's okay. That's come on. That's
radio calling.
That was
really come on
at 3:00 in the morning.
I do remember him doing that. Pardon me.
And I somehow got through.
Got through on air.
Yeah. This is before we ever went to Gala. This is before. When we were willing to be starstruck, I think a little bit.
I think Tennant was still a going concern at that point, so it was 2009 at the latest.
Counts. Yeah. I don't think this one counts.
No. But I did.
But like, as far as like favorite things go.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
That was a crazy thing. This is what we had to do. Tell me back then that you had to wait up to phone a call-in line for a British radio station at 3 a.m. to get the chance to talk to David Tennant. Later on, several years later, you'll forget how many times you've interviewed Peter Davison, Sylvester McCoy, Colin Baker,
no kidding,
Paul McGann. I have forgotten. We've been lucky.
Both McCoy and McGann, you were like the de facto interview guy for a few months at a go.
For Paul McGann, I was basically his guy for three conventions in a row.
And McCoy as well, because he did, was it Galley, Edmonton Expo, and something else?
Calgary Expo. I interviewed Calgary Expo, and then
And shout out to Paul McGann for doing our intro video. I mean, that was really good of him.
Yes, that's another thing from Ken Deep, who is, despite being our dreaded rival over at podcast, Podshock rather, helped us out. Talked to a lot of people on this show. On this show.
Once upon a time, and it's I think it's long gone from the website, but I used to I kept a list of people we interviewed like on the website.
Yeah.
And then basically I stopped updating it because we just had I never did it frequently enough that there was always this backlog to add people, and I'm like, I just gave up.
Yeah.
Sounds good. It's 20 years, man. That's a long time to consistently do anything, including this podcast. So
it is a lot.
Yeah. I mean, the first interview we had was the first one ever at Gallifrey 2009.
Yes. Warren interviewed Phil Collinson.
That's right. I did. Yes.
And then I interviewed David J. Howe.
David J. Howe, Toby Haydock.
Rob Shearman, we ambushed and bought him food on the Friday night in the Champions. It was known then.
Yeah.
And then we had a little round table with Toby Haydock and Phil Ford on the Sunday.
At the end, yeah.
Yeah. That was sort of that was us diving in.
Yeah, that's right, because we were going to talk to Phil Ford also in Champions. And I think I was out for a smoke with Toby because he still smoked at the time.
Yeah.
And I said, "Hey, you want to be on a podcast?" He's like, "Yeah, sure."
What the hell is a podcast?
Yeah, well, that's what I said back in 2006.
Well, that was his first time.
His first galley. Yep.
Yeah, it was his first galley. So the first time we were talking to him. So yeah, separately and with Phil, but yeah.
Yeah. And then by the next year, we were in the lobby doing 4 interviews a day. It was crazy.
Lunacy. Utter lunacy.
Crazy how we ramped up.
And the year after that, we had our live show, which had, who was that? Phil Ford.
Phil Ford.
We had Clayton and Gareth.
Yep.
Clayton Hickman and
Gareth Roberts.
We had
Josh Agnew. Not Josh Agnew.
Agnew.
Yeah, Josh Agnew, right? Director of a couple
Agnew,
episodes. Yeah. And then James Moran was there too. Yeah.
Right, yes. One of my favorite interviews has got to be the 30-second one with Steve Roberts that you did just for the hell of it, which just made me laugh uproariously.
That's right. Any update?
Absolutely no information whatsoever.
Any update on missing episodes? Nope. Okay.
that was it. That's the stuff right there.
That was it.
Yeah.
All right. Next fluid.
We've been very, 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 very lucky.
Very lucky. Next fluid link. That's actually kind of in keeping with that. So after 20 years of RFS, congratulations and well done. Which personalities in the whole history of Doctor Who, living or dead, would you like to have interviewed that you haven't before, from before or behind the camera? So like actors or,
Cranky Hartnell. Hartnell is most cranky.
JNT.
JNT for sure.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame.
We did Hinchcliffe, so that doesn't count.
Yeah, we did.
Camfield.
Tom Baker, we've never interviewed him.
Douglas Camfield.
Camfield would be a good one.
Like there's a host of people like David Whitaker, Douglas Camfield, Brian Hales, Malcolm Hulk, who died like 79, Camfield died in 84, who like predates all the convention panelists. So we don't have them on the record for anything, basically. Those are
Graham Williams I'd add to that list.
Yeah, definitely Graham Williams. Yeah.
For the camera, we interviewed Julian Glover, so that one doesn't count. He would have been on the list otherwise.
Yeah.
Sidney
Lovely
Newman
man,
and
by the
Verity
way.
Lambert, I think.
Yes,
Verity
absolutely.
Lambert, man.
Foregone.
That's a sad one because, she died in 2007. So, not long after this podcast started. But had we had our confidence, maybe we could have got a Verity Lambert interview. But
probably not. But okay.
No, exactly. Those are, honestly,
Michael Grade. I'd love to talk to
Michael Grade.
Hey, he's still around. I mean, you could.
We've had 2 of the 3 modern showrunners on
We're
the
not
show.
getting the other one.
And
it's not happening at this point.
I don't think I'd be comfortable with it, honestly. I've had so many issues with some. RTD has done great stuff, but also he has not, and I don't think I could, present it as an even-handed thing, knowing what we've.
It wouldn't be fair to him,
said.
frankly.
It wouldn't be, So it'd be not that we're ever going to get the opportunity. Say, hey, Russell T Davies wants to come on your show to promote his new book coming out in October.
Punches us out. Fair enough.
I don't know if we could do that. Not that we've ever had that opportunity to believe.
Yeah, exactly. We're making it sound like we are turning something down, which has never come up. So
yeah. So there, Russell. No, we refuse your interview request that was never coming in the first place.
We're making it sound more negative than it should be. Frankly.
Yeah.
Did we say Robert Holmes yet?
No,
we didn't. That's a very
Robert
good call.
Holmes, man. I feel like it'd be like he was like. Robert Holmes. I remember seeing was a convention 1981. Don't know where it is now. It was online for a while there, but young Gary Russell, 17 years old, walking on in his fine-looking for 1981 suit. No notes in hand, talking to the greatest writer in Doctor Who history about Doctor Who. That was honestly one of my formative moments in deciding how I wanted interviews to go. I never use notes, and that's basically because of Gary Russell. because you're not listening to you're just going through the questions. And I never go with notes. I never do it. And I never want to do it. And he got to interview Robert Holmes, and he's like one of the very few convention interviews I've ever seen of Robert Holmes, because of course he didn't really do that many, and then he died in 1986. So yeah. Yep. If we had a time machine, I'd save Doctor Who episodes and interview Doctor Who writers and directors.
Who is this man in this anachronistic outfit from the future?
Is that so bad? I mean, I'd still be wearing like jerseys from the 1970s anyway.
That's true. Nobody will tell.
Yeah.
2006 when this all started, and people would say, "What's a podcast?" I mean, imagine the 1980s. What's a podcast?
Oh,
what's an internet?
Are you a commie?
Yeah. I mean,
What's an iPod?
I'd bring a tape recorder. I could digitize tapes. It's fine. I could do it.
Big Sony cassette deck.
Yeah, I could. It sounds like you're right. You're convincing me even more here, Warren. I mean,
okay. Well, first you got to build a time machine.
That's true.
I think the overall answer to this is pick any prominent Doctor Who person who's dead, and they're on our list.
Yeah, almost certainly, yes.
Because we've pretty much
Mary Tam for crimini's sake.
I mean,
totally, yeah.
Peter Capaldi. Let's face it.
Yes,
of current ones, Peter Capaldi is the one.
Have you ever interviewed Jodie Whittaker?
Nope, never have.
I get the feeling she'd be a great interview.
I 100% agree.
Well, who did the Galley ones? I know Riley did one.
Deb Standish did one. Yeah, did one.
Okay. And Riley did the other one.
I think she did. Yeah.
Or was it the?
I think she only did the one panel.
Or was it Kim and Sage?
No,
I can't remember
anymore. No. Yeah, Jodie Whittaker and Peter Capaldi, I think would be absolutely superb, especially Capaldi
on stage, same time. I think they would play off one another pretty well.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
No Shooty Gatwa on that list?
Don't think he'd agree to it. We're not cool enough.
Yeah. Let's.
We are definitely not as cool as he is. That's for sure.
Next fluid link. This is from our friend Derek Compere on Blue Sky. Derek, of course, esteemed television professor, actual professor. Been on the show.
Smart guy, unlike us.
Yes, been on the show a couple times. A fluid link for your anniversary. Which one story of any length from any era of TV Doctor Who so far would you pitch as a model/prototype for future Doctor Who? So not quite what we had before, where we're putting ones in the new season. Like, if you're to go in, like, okay, so what's this Doctor Who show? What do you got here? Well, this is it. I think you should sort of like leap off on this. Ooh.
I hate to admit it, but because it's the McCoy era, but a lot of those are better suited to the modern age than anything else from the old times. So
you pitch that as a prototype of how to make that?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying that's part of the ingredients of the whole thing, because it was basically like, essentially New Who was more McCoy coded than anything else.
One thing I like about this question is a lot of the default answers for, great Doctor Who stories shouldn't be on this list. So like Blink or Heaven Sent, for example, should not be anywhere near that list.
No, you should make it like Cage of Adventures. No, you shouldn't, actually. It's the greatest story ever, in my opinion.
We don't want this to be nostalgia bait, which is what felled our good friend Doctor Who in the first place here after 2 years. So what do we do?
Yeah. Well, on top of anything else, as we've talked about in the past, like, because we've all been asked many times, like, what episodes, what stories would you show to somebody just getting into Doctor Who? And quite often those answers are Caves and Blink and whatever.
Yeah.
I Blink more than the other ones,
all these high profile ones that are nowhere near representative of actual Doctor Who. By the same token, I wouldn't pick like Time Flight. But
well, why do you want to make people or Sensorites? The Sensorites. Let's base everything on Sensorite. The boring dudes that go on and on.
You still need something middling ish.
Well, you need something with the right structure that you have to do week after week is what it boils down to.
Yeah, there is that.
And a regeneration story is not that, and neither is Blink when you get it down.
No.
Nothing Doctor Light or like Heaven Sent Companion Light, so I don't want those. I don't know. Like, do you go back to the first story of a given Doctor, because they're always positioned as setups
Rose
for
is a perfect
new
example
people.
of that. Right?
Rose or 11th Hour or like Christmas Invasion, I think, is a terrible story as a representation for Doctor Who. because Tennant's barely in it.
Yeah,
and
everyone's going around where's Poochie, basically the whole thing.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
I mean, Women That Fell to Earth, other than Tim Shaw kind of being a crappy villain, isn't a bad way to intro something because it is kind of a revamp.
Yeah,
I mean that's an intro,
and it looks slick AF.
Yeah, that's true. It's just a kind of lame villain, which actually most intros have lame villains. So.
They do. I mean, we're looking we don't necessarily this is episode 1 of a new series, but like the elements of this show, this story, are what Doctor Who is really about, and what you should try to focus on in making this new version.
Maybe one of the well-renowned ones that does deserve to be on this list is City of Death.
That's where I was going. I've been avoiding trying
it's
to.
An easy answer though. That's
City of Death. Like I sort of put City of Death to the side for a while because so many people were talking about it. And I remember I mentioned Shane Turgeon. I remember showing that to him. So, this is the best episode. You love Doctor Who after this. Oh, that's kind of garbage. Oh, well, it doesn't get any better than that. So I guess you won't like Doctor Who. Bye.
Also, City of Death is great. Like I just watched it recently for the hell of it.
It is so good. It's there's a reason why everyone wildly overpraises it. It's so good. Mm-hmm. It's a movie. It's
very funny.
If you were to make a Doctor Who movie, you would make City of Death. There's a foreign location. You go backwards and forward. There's 2 different time locations in it, which honestly, Doctor Who rarely does. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes, most Doctor Who stories, they land in episode 1 and they fly off in episode 4, and they're stuck in that same location the whole time.
You've got a major star in Julian Glover.
You got a great
and
villain.
A couple of good guest stars.
Good guest stars, as you say, good jokes, good foreign locations. It is
great relationship with the Doctor and the companion.
Yeah, it is nigh on the most perfect Doctor Who story ever made. If you could bottle whatever they were drinking, a table wine ostensibly, when they were making City of Death in 1979, like God, I would. Oh, that is. I don't know what that would mean. I mean, without doing like slavish recreation. Well, I mean, it's Dudley Simpson's best score for crying out loud.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Yeah,
everyone somehow brought their A game amidst. Let's face it, one of the lazier seasons of Doctor Who.
True.
There's some really clunky Doctor Who in season 17. As much as my nostalgia compels me to not say that, but
I don't want to put all that blame on Douglas Adams' shoulders, but he has to shoulder some of that for sure.
He does. Yeah.
Yeah, because you got Creature from the Pit and some other winners in there.
But, and yet he co-wrote City of Death. I mean, God. Yeah. It is so good. It's so good.
I think.
But is the remit here? Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say, I mean, because that I think that ticks the boxes.
You could. Go ahead.
My question is this the remit? Is the remit of this question that we have to sell it to a modern audience or studio? Because then City of Death is a little old fashioned.
It's
said what's representative. What's a good representation of Doctor Who?
All right. The prototype. You could make a season long arc and have it be City of Death because you're flying to different locations. Yeah. You could. It's not that you're not trying to remake City of Death. You're not trying to just show it as episode 1. You're just trying to hear the elements of Doctor Who. And that is perfect for it.
You even get a historical figure in there that you never actually see.
You even get a historic figure that you don't. I mean, honestly, it's better that you don't see him. That's the best thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
It's like Andor. You never see the people who are in charge. You see the middle managers and stuff. And instead of seeing Leonardo da Vinci, you see his lackey, Peter Halliday. It's
Absolutely, yes. That makes sense.
City of Death. Perfect story.
Sure.
Perfect story. All right. Next fluid link comes from Feverwood on Blue Sky. As new episodes of Doctor Who are some time away, what do you 3 want to cover more besides an in-depth overview of ratings?
I don't think we want to do that.
I certainly do not.
No. What would we want to cover more?
I mean, depends on what comes out in the interim, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we're going to talk about the CBeebies show, I'm sure, to some degree.
Detail. Believe me, I'm intrigued by it, but go ahead, yeah.
Even if it's just behind the scenes stuff rather than talking about episodes proper when they drop. But
yeah.
One good thing about Doctor Who is there's enough stuff out there that there's always more stuff coming out on the back of it. So, for example, you mentioned Simon Guerrier, who's got his Terrence Dicks book coming out at whatever point. So stuff like that.
Yeah,
we're always happy to talk about the
his book about Terrence Dicks and also his novelization of Terrence Dicks' story, The Six Doctors. I just wanted to say that there's basically 2 books coming out. Yeah.
Or Circuit Breaker, for all our initial misgivings. We've been getting a lot of mileage out of it, that's for sure.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Circuit Breaker is also more interesting. I haven't been following as closely as you two, but it's still conceptually more interesting than like Doomsday was.
Yeah,
that's true.
And also is the only Doctor Who thing going right now too. Yeah. One thing I mean, it's so tough to do, and I don't have ideas for it, and we live in Canada, so therefore far away, but I enjoyed making that little documentary Day in the Life in Big Finish.
Oh, yeah.
Going to, getting invited to the Big Finish studios and like interviewing there and like, recording like just how they did it. And that was fun. I really enjoyed doing that. And it made me like, oh, wow, I wonder what other ideas we could have to do a documentary
like a long-form documentary style thing.
And like none have come to mind.
Yeah, I can't think of it off the top of my head. Nothing's coming to mind either. I mean, stuff kind of presents itself, and it has for 20 years. So I have faith that more. There were years where we didn't have Doctor Who happening between them, right? So
yep. To be fair, it's not quite the same thing. Certainly not as polished, but miniscopes are kind of like long-form.
That's true, yeah.
Documentary type things.
Yeah.
Just not quite in that same
More
fashion.
analysis than anything else, yeah. But
I know we like, I don't say we don't often repeat, we often do repeat ourselves, but sometimes, I mean, we front loaded our miniscopes in those days, and that we basically just said, here's who we want to talk about. And like, I feel like Graham Harper was over like an episode or 2. Camfield.
Robert Holmes is 3.
3. But I feel like as the years have gone on, our miniscopes have become, I think, a lot more in depth. I think our appreciation of what people do.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
And part of me almost thinks like I wouldn't mind revisiting David Maloney, Robert Holmes, Douglas Camfield. Like these are things that are sort of like what would we do again? It kind of reminds me of
that I don't remember what we did in the first place.
No, I don't either.
Sure, if we can listen and reference it, but
or we could just record it again, make sure that so you don't have to listen back to episode 181 or whatever it was. Like I'm, over on the Incomparable Network, which started in 2010. Some of their early episodes were like, hey, episode 4, let's talk about the entire Star Wars trilogy, and they did it like in an hour. And which means that I guess they could never review the Star Wars, but their appreciation of the films has changed probably over the years, and probably their comfort in podcasting about it has also changed.
Prequels probably changed how they felt, and they had just happened more or less.
And versus 2010, the 3 sequel movies weren't a glint in anybody's eye.
Right.
Not to mention Disney TV stuff.
Yeah,
and those are invariably going to, superficially or otherwise change your view of what came before.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I like it when we go off in like little side we get a bee in our bonnet about, let's say, Starlust. We finally said, okay, let's do a Starlust episode. We don't have to do this all the time or just every now and again, but I do like it when we just pick a thing and go, hey, you know what? We keep going on about this. Let's get people who actually know what they're talking about on our program to actually go on about it.
Yeah. I like that. We'll probably do a Star Cops one. I already threatened it.
That's what I was thinking too.
Because it's 40th anniversary and it was set in 2027. So it invites itself. It's a BBC sci-fi show. You know, I've often thought about like doing something for Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the TV series,
the OG one.
The OG one, as something.
Maybe a Red Dwarf thing, because it is kind of Doctor Who light in some ways.
A little bit. It sort of became the successor to Doctor Who in those days,
Just by default, because there's nothing else, basically.
Yeah,
exactly.
So that might happen now. What's going to be the success? I mean, no, it won't, because it's not the same. It's not the same media landscape it was back then in any way, shape, or form. So you wouldn't get the same phenomena.
Craig Ferguson, massive Doctor Who fan, never got to appear on Doctor Who, but he was in Red Dwarf.
There's an interview we should try for.
Craig Ferguson?
Yeah. Why not? He's a massive Doctor Who fan.
That's true. Add that to the list.
And a very funny guy.
Yeah. I wonder how much he keeps up on the show in recent years. I bet you loved Peter Capaldi era. Oh,
well, he's a bro of Capaldi, so yeah.
I know.
Well, they were in a band. They were in a punk band together back in the day. So.
I know. Yeah.
Nothing. I think I still have it bookmarked or saved on YouTube somewhere with Peter Capaldi's first appearance on the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson from 2010?
Yeah, it was before Doctor.
Somewhere in there. Way before he was on Doctor Who.
Was he ever on when he was on Doctor Who?
I can't remember.
Like, I don't think he was. I think they had Matt Smith at one time.
Because he had Karen Gillan 4 or 5 times at least.
Because she lived in, like, she relocated to Hollywood there for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
maybe.
I love how he shoehorned in stuff, his own interests. And it's like, well, too bad. It's 3 a.m. Just watch what I want. Like, you know what? Respect.
Yeah, Craig Ferguson, man. Yeah, honestly, the spirit of his shows kind of like eased its way into this show, I think, a little bit too.
A little bit, yeah.
Around that time, just the carefree nature of it and
irreverence, which in the early days I think people didn't like so much, but too bad.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike Tachyon TV and Craig Ferguson, we have not written our own original songs to
Shout out to Tachyon TV. That kept us going, really. I remember finding Tachyon TV, listening to it, laughing as I was walking to work out loud at all the ridiculous deep dive nonsense they were doing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and they're good friends of ours to this day. So.
They are. I know we met them at the first Gallifrey One. I think we had been in contact a little bit, but I think like I arrived late on that Friday. On the first gala that we went to, and I think you already messaged me that you were already saying I met the guys from Tachyon TV. They're great.
Well, I remember for that year. Oh, okay. Sorry, total tangent.
Never.
Because Neil wasn't sure. I forget what the basis of it all was, but Neil, who lives in the northeast of England, wasn't sure if he was going to be able to get down to London to make his flight to LA.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And so I can't remember if I only thought of doing this or if I actually did it. And he might have to refresh my memory. But I hadn't met the guy yet or anything like that. But I was living in London at the time. And like I say, I don't remember if I actually put the offer out there. But I was definitely contemplating saying, hey, if you want to come down to London a day early, just crash at my place.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And then, go to the airport together or something like that. He made his flight, obviously. But yeah, like before even meeting the guy and just only, chatting on Twitter or whatever, I knew that we're all cut from the same cloth.
Oh yeah.
I know, of course, they do the Wonderful World of Telly podcast, which
excellent
is an insult, which we've had them on the show. Yeah, I don't know what we'll do to I feel like we're already doing it. It's not going to be 3-hour episodes of Fluid Links, I'll tell you that right now. But
absolutely not.
This is a one-off. But yeah, there's I don't know. We'll see where it takes us. The irreverence of the Craig Ferguson show is sort of perhaps infecting us right now, in that we know, but we don't know quite what we'll be doing for the next little while there's no Doctor Who. All right, next Fluid Link. Rich Patterson on Blue Sky says, what will come first? A full series of Blake's 7 commentaries from us, speaking of things that we might do. Yeah. Probably not. Or broadening the I didn't even know this was coming. Or broadening the mini scope to include people with 2 credits.
I mean, that makes sense, frankly.
Well, it depends on how fast we burn through the last handful of miniscope people.
That's true. Yeah.
Because we still have 8 or 10 on the list. So we're not quite through the list, but we're way over the hump.
That's probably a couple years worth, because we don't do them all that frequently.
We don't.
Not now. We did a lot more in
that's true.
Late 2000s and 2010s. But
so when I was bored, which I often am, not watching things, I literally searched for Miniscope my notes app. Back in 2022, I hypothetically wrote down a list of what if we did 2 people who worked on things 2 times, but not 3. Weirdly, like there would be not as many classic series, but a whole chunk of people in the modern series will work a 2-episode block, and then that's it.
Big time.
But which means that people who, I can't remember her name now, who wrote Maxine Alderton, who wrote my 2 favorite Jodie Whittaker stories, Fugitive of the Dune and Nightmare of Villa Diodati. She would be on that list because she's never written a third one, you know. People like Waris Hussein, although we can't watch Marco Polo yet.
And he only did part of Marco Polo anyway.
6 or 7 episodes. We'll give him the full director's credit on that one. Listen, we did Mervyn Pinfield, and he directed like some of the episodes.
True.
Yeah. You know, Matthew Robinson, Andrew Morgan, you know, Colin Teague, Alistair, Adam Smith, of course, who like ushered in the Matt Smith era, but only directed 2 proper stories because he directed 3 episodes, but 2 stories. You know,
partly on us for what we refer to as the Keith Boak rule.
Yep, it is. Yeah,
which is an arbitrary rule we just cooked up. Like we don't have to follow this.
It is, but I mean, once upon a time we did a miniscope for Keith Boak, who did 3 episodes but only 2 stories. And
right.
That's where we kind of firmed up the decision to have 3 stories on episodes.
Yeah. You know, it's a thought. It's a thought. You know, Ben Wheatley, noted director Ben Wheatley, who directed, of course, 2 Doctor Who stories, and that's it. And thus has never been featured. I also went.
But we had Ben Wheatley on the show.
We did
interview him. Well, you did, yeah.
I did, yeah.
That was the year we had that little anti-chamber in the Marriott where we could keep all our stuff set up.
I remember that. Yeah.
Bring people there for interviews.
Oh no, but I got, this is after that. This is when he arrived at Gallifrey 1, and then I think Sean Lyon says, "Oh, here's Ben Wheatley. Do you want to?" Oh, sure, yes, absolutely. And literally, he didn't even get to the green room before I interviewed him. It was me interviewing him, and then he arrived in the green room. That's how early on in the convention I got him. It was like literally like just within the little. The limbo space between on the hallway and the green room was where I interviewed him. I remember that.
In the liminal space.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, there's a whole bunch of like one-off people who also like I just wrote down directors, but like there's been tons of writers as well that would be, you know, like Lovett Bickford, for instance, for The Leisure Hive would be very intriguing to do a mini scope on, or Darryl Blake for the Stones of Blood. You know, there's some stories that I imagine like are written by and directed by people who only wrote or directed those 1 episodes. You know, there's a few things out there that would be kind of intriguing, but you know, ask us again in a year.
We're truly desperate.
How we are for content. If our Mojo Swap Tops marathon isn't quite gathering steam as we'd like it to have, maybe we'll have to
Mojo Swap Tops marathon. Oh, a sentence dripping with horror.
Right.
Yeah, like just going through like a list on Wikipedia of Doctor Who writers that did 2 stories.
Yep.
That would definitely be on that list otherwise. So we've got Ben Aronovich, Christopher Bailey,
I have interviewed.
Ian Briggs, Donald Cotton, Frank Cottrell Boyce, Neil Cross, Sarah Dollard, Phil Ford, Neil. Okay, we'll skip Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, we definitely will skip
Vinay Patel, for crying out loud. You know,
Stephen Gallagher, Matthew Graham, Stephen Greenhorn, Mervyn Haseman, Vinay Patel, Don Houghton, Henry Lincoln. Actually, he's on there anyway.
Yeah.
Tom McRae, Philip Martin, Rona Monroe, Helen Rayner, Robert Banks Stewart, Stephen Wyatt. Actually, we had Stephen Wyatt on the live show that one time. But anyway, there's and that's the writers. So that's another bunch. One day, maybe
one day. I
don't know that we're in any particular rush to open that door. Still having,
but it's not a bad idea.
A list of other people.
Yeah, it's been considered, Richard, or rather, Rich Patterson. Who it's been considered as far back as 2022. So we'll see. We will.
Words of Mr. Spock in the Mirror Universe. I shall consider it.
I will take your word for that. Although I have that episode now in its original form, so I'll watch that someday too. Maybe we'll do original form. Star Wars, Star Trek, I think. Yeah. All right. No, we're not doing the Blake 7 commentaries. The Gambit was a one-off one, so there we go. Hope you enjoyed it. Next fluid link. Richard Riley from via Patreon asks this. You've been tasked with turning the TV movie into a 3 or 4 part story for broadcast on BBC Two for a repeat season starting in January. Where do you place the cliffhangers to end each part?
Oh God! I haven't I haven't watched the TV movie in very many years,
right?
So I don't distinctly remember the structure of the story enough to say much.
I'm going to say something blasphemous here.
Right.
If we have a 3 or 4 part story, we do kind of what they did with Terminator 2, where they do the little sort of preamble where you got a cool war scene with the Terminators taking over everything. You do that with the opening preamble. You actually explain it beyond just my random blurb that means nothing. You actually show some stuff, right? Maybe it's a bunch of clips from the show or something, right? Or something along those lines, where it explains what in the hell you're talking about and gins up excitement for the thing to come.
So what you're saying is basically have Paul McGann appear on a blue screen in front of a nebula.
I am not saying that now that you mention it.
Explaining what happened in the Sylvester McCoy era.
There's no good way to do it, honestly. Maybe you just don't do that. But
so two things that leap to mind, and I don't know if this is going to work timing wise, but it certainly works plot wise. One of it is going to be when McCoy's gunned down in the alley.
Yeah.
That's probably episode 1's cliffhanger.
Right.
And then when the master gets like full on resurrected, full height of his power kind of thing.
Good call.
When he dresses for the occasion.
Yeah.
That's probably the
3 to 4
last cliffhanger.
So the second episode is the kiss. The kiss is the cliffhanger, just to drive everyone mental.
Yeah.
I don't think that works. Plot.
I don't care if it does. I want to make fans of the 90s mad. So
no, I mean, the TV movie is different because it's made with commercial breaks. So the first commercial break is about 20 odd minutes in, and it's when the doctor drops down to his knees. Who am I? That's like the first commercial break. Unless, of course, you watched it on ITV on original broadcast, and the thing was miscued, and they put a commercial break in when the doctor goes under anesthesia. About 14 minutes into the episode.
I do remember that. Because I did watch it on original broadcast.
Should not have been there. I think, the spirit of the question is kind of like, where do you put the cliffhangers in the 5 Doctors?
Yeah.
And so basically,
it's a little better than the 5 Doctors.
Every 23 minutes is where you place the cliffhanger. So
the cliffhangers in the 5 Doctors work well enough.
Sarah Jane falling down what isn't a hill is not a great time.
I think it's funny. So I think in the spirit of that, I think it'll be these shoes, they fit perfectly. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm down.
Chang Lee's in the stuck in traffic. It goes, "This is an ambulance." That's when it cuts in. Jeez. Right there.
I love how Chris is reverting to his early pedantor form for just this question alone.
We brought him out. We brought him back, baby. Pedantor. Yeah. Coming to BBC too, but not North American DVD apparently anytime soon. Sadly. Next fluid link. This one comes from our friend Slam Campbell of Is It
hooray.
Camp. What if Doctor Who was a CBC show? Whether if Sidney Newman stayed in Canada and made it in the 1960s, or if the 2005 version was made at the CBC.
Well, 1960s one would be interesting because it'd be great if Sidney Newman stayed here, but it would be more. I was trying to think about how this works. It's most CBC stuff at the time was like kind of like 50s stuff in America. It was like play of the day kind of stuff,
right?
So which Doctor Who kind of is to begin with. So I mean. So I guess that would kind of work the way it does. Now, what would you have if it's an educational show? Do you have a Forest Rangers crossover? which I'm not even sure that's a CBC show, to be honest with you.
I never even watched Forest Rangers. Yeah.
Would you have within the confines of like the CBC studios a bunch of historical stuff about Canada? Like, would you have a lot more French people showing up in this thing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, would they be on the plains of Abraham or something?
I'm going to put something out there that is probably going to wrinkle some feathers. Okay. Warren, I think you'll appreciate this.
Okay.
So let's say Sidney Newman made the show in the 60s in Canada. Mm-hmm. Who do we hire as the first Doctor? William Shatner.
He's still working here.
No,
if it's the early 60s, so
that would be hilarious.
The guy can actually act, even though he's been made fun of immensely. When he can act, he acts very well. So
he was at Stratford. He was like compadres with Christopher Plummer, for God's sake.
Plummer.
Yeah.
Or Christopher Plummer as the first Doctor, and then Shatner as the second.
Oh,
so he's so excited to work on Doctor Who, he never makes it to Star Trek.
Gordon pins it the third Doctor or something like that.
Oh, I like where we're going with this. And we shouldn't just go on a full-on Canadian casting spree.
Fifth Doctor, Bruno Gerussi.
But yeah, absolutely. And then the Master is Relic, whoever the actor's name was.
From Beachgoers.
Oh, yeah.
But also, let's assume it goes into the 70s. I want to see some crossovers, which people loved doing on American TV anyway at the time. So in the 70s, so we got to have, the Doctor shows up in a guest bit, whoever that might be, on King of Kensington or other such nonsense. Now, what about 2005? Because that's a weird time for Canadian TV.
Before we move on, which Doctor does Al Waxman play?
Oh, well, he's got to show up as the King of Kensington in the crossover, and then inexplicably, and to the anger of many a fan, he becomes the Doctor. He's like the sixth Doctor.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
Also, weirdly, there's that weird crossover in the mid-70s with the New Avengers, which took place in Canada. So it's a Doctor Who New Avengers crossover.
Yep.
Which, didn't Cindy Newman help with the New Avengers anyway?
I think so.
Yeah.
I just remember I was like, I'm going to watch the Avengers. I turn on, it's in Canada. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Like, why would I watch something set in Canada?
Can we have John Colicos as the Master?
Oh my God. Not can we, will we? And the answer is yes, we will.
We're taking all of our Canadian talent back, damn it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
2005, is that too late for Jim Carrey to be
I was thinking the
involved
exact
as a
same thing. It
Doctor?
is too late for him. But let's pretend he never got it to the States. And so he'd be a pretty good Doctor, I got to say.
He was past his Ace Ventura heyday.
Yeah.
And was starting to do
Man of the Moon, which is very good in.
Very good. Like he's trying to get an Oscar at that point.
Yeah.
I feel like he'd come back. I feel like he'd come back to Canada and try to slum it. Either that, or we get like Tom Green or something like that. Which would be even worse.
No, he'd make it too Tom Green and not enough actual Doctor Who.
I mean, the thing would be, 2005, early 2000 CBC. I feel like what they were trying to diversify a little bit. So Doctor Who went to Wales,
Erica and the like.
Yeah, Doctor Who went to Wales. It would be shot in Halifax. It would be a Halifax show.
Oh, you're right. It totally would be a Salter Street or whatever.
Yeah, it would.
And half the people worked on Lex would move over.
Right.
By the way, I said this before, but the reason Lex got made in the first place is they had a supercomputer in Halifax and they needed to do something with it. And so they're like, oh, special effects, and that's why Lex came to be.
That's exactly why Doctor Who be made. Like they go, well, you know what? Lex just got canceled. There's no Stanley Cup playoffs. Do you want to make Doctor Who here in Halifax? We got a big computer. Okay, let's go.
Rick Mercer as a Doctor. He'd make a great Doctor, I think.
He would be a great Doctor. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. This is so Canadian.
And the woman who plays Xena on This Hour's 22 Minutes. I can't remember her name.
Oh,
but she's great. Margot Della something or other. She would be a good female Doctor, I think.
Oh, I think I know who you mean. Yeah.
The one who would harass Jean Chrétien in Parliament. This is what I love about Canada. We would have these comedy guys just show up in Parliament and give our politicians a hard time.
Yeah. Canada's awesome, everyone. You should come and visit. It's really great.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And we would make the best Doctor Who, either in the 1960s
No, we wouldn't.
or
We'd make the second best Doctor Who.
That's true. They've made the best Doctor Who already. All right.
Also, Canada, second best. That's kind of our deal, man.
We're the second largest, and it's fine. It's fine. You don't have to be best. Be happy with second. It's awesome.
As far as I'm just looking at a list of people here, I'll be honest, but just some people that were involved in other sci-fi franchises that are Canadian that we could look at would be James Doohan or maybe Lorne Greene,
right? Like back in the 60s, certainly.
For back in the old show.
Yeah. I mean,
and then the show peters out, and then all of a sudden it turns out that James Cameron is an insane Doctor Who fan, and he makes the most expensive, needlessly expensive. He becomes R2-D2. He makes the most needlessly expensive and humorless Doctor Who you've ever seen.
That's true. Yeah, I knew. Let's face it, it would have been canceled. Like Pierre Trudeau had the long walk in the snow, and Doctor Who gets canceled a month later because there's no way Brian Mulrooney keeps the CBC funded well enough to keep Doctor Who going. So it ends at its 20th anniversary season. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Damn you, PCs. All right. Well, that's a fun alt history. Next fluid link. This comes from email from Art Lyon. Is there an era or run of Doctor Who that you used to like but have warmed to, or used to not like but have warmed to? Conversely, is there an era or run of Doctor Who that you used to like but don't care for now?
I will happily say that I've warmed to Colin Baker as the Doctor.
Hey.
Okay, that's a good call.
Since his first appearance.
So you didn't like him back in the late 80s or 90s?
I didn't care for him back in the late 80s when we saw his stuff.
Yeah.
But nowadays, far more than I used to.
I have two examples. One is a straight up liking it more. I very much like the first two way more than I ever did before, just because I like what Steven said. You can see the flaws. They don't know what they're doing. It's kind of great to see just how ramshackle it is back. So I have much more, and plus just 20 years of doing this show have made me appreciate more about the first Doctor in particular, and also the second Doctor's era. I would also say I never disliked Jodie's era. I like it more now. But I still liked it at the time, but I like it even more now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, perhaps because knowing what I mean, I'm taking. I was never a fan of this most recent era, and I'm still not.
No, but I mean, just watching that crew, that particular group, really gels very well. And even when John Bishop comes in, that works really well too. It's not without its problems, but it looks great. Like there's just a bunch of stuff to like about it, and a part of that is like it's been a few years now.
Yeah, I think it looks a lot better than. Even more in retrospect. I thought it looked good at the time with Dean Egg's visual effects and everything, but now I feel like this looks really good. This looks better than the Disney stuff with a lot more money spent on it, on Disney. I don't think I caught into the John Pertwee era as much, but I think I've grown up now a little bit on that. I think I like the Pertwee era a bit more.
I think Erica could say the same thing as well, because she used to be not a Pertwee fan at all.
Yeah, on our podcast, Lazy Doctor Who, she kind of went through a bit of a reappraisal, mostly because of season 7, which was amazing.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt.
Yeah,
I'm not going to reassess McCoy, but I'm going to tolerate McCoy.
I feel like you're not as vociferous in your dislike of McCoy anymore.
No, it's my least favorite era. The stories just don't do a lot for me, other than a couple of examples. Yeah. But it's kind of like background noise at this point, really.
Yeah. I don't want to dump on this, but I feel like my RTD appreciation of the first RTD, it's kind of waned a little bit.
No, I would go the opposite direction with that.
I would go the opposite as well.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just my own personal thing.
You were definitely the most gung ho of us back in the first RTD.
Yeah. Run. And then I didn't.
To be fair, the show started halfway through his run, because it was after season 2 when you guys started this thing.
You were more promiscuous back then, so
a little bit. And we're just happy that it was back. And like, okay, this is new. And but then I saw, then the Moffat era came along and says,
I think the honeymoon phase wore off for you.
Mm-hmm. It did a little bit after in season 3. I'd say the last of the Time Lords is when it officially started. I think
that might have been the tipping point. But there's still a bunch of really good stuff in there.
There still is, but like there's element like I was thinking the other day about how one thing I'd get rid of is the psychic paper when they come back.
That makes sense. It was a neat shortcut at the beginning, but then it just got over. It's like the sonic screwdriver of the new era.
It's even more, because it basically became like, look at that paper says that you outrank me, and now I'm going to explain the entire plot to you, and like that was how they got around that. Like they didn't, the Doctor and the companion didn't have to like work their way into a social situation. They barged their way in and assumed ownership, and it just like that, and the psychic paper kind of like
you've also
got
a 45-minute one-part episode story that you have to have moving so much faster.
It's way too fast
versus 425-minute episodes or 245s or whatever. That the psychic paper. I don't disagree. It's definitely like too much, but it was a great shortcut.
Yep. In retrospect, I'm not sure I'd want to do 45-minute episodes again either. There I said it. Which of course started with RTD. Yeah. But then again, that's what TV was like back in those days. So like, Well,
it started with Resurrection of the Daleks.
Well, I mean, it wasn't
ish.
Yeah.
Ish. Because I liked it enough that they continued that the next year.
And they never figured out what they were doing with those.
God, no. No. Like as lauded as, say, like Revelation of the Daleks is, like Colin Baker's not even really in it until episode 2,
right?
And that just that there's too much Necros stuff.
Yeah,
there's never too much Necros. What are you talking about?
Well, before the Doctor's involved.
Yeah.
I mean, I've from a storytelling standpoint, fine. You gotta set the stage. You gotta develop the environment, all that kind of stuff. But that's just too much.
You're probably right, but I still love it.
Yeah.
So when you say I wouldn't do 45-minute episodes, I would say that for season 22.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. Modern Who though? I mean, like I said though, it's all retrospect now. But I think you make it differently now. But yeah. I don't know what we solved there, but
nothing. Not a damn thing.
Next
We're
link.
not supposed to solve things.
It's true. That's true. All right, this one comes from Joe Siegler on Blue Sky. This is a bit of a longer one, I think. I know about different ways TV is made these days. We won't get 40 episodes a year, but will we get any more than recent times? RTD initially said that the first 2 series were 8 and could go up in the future. Obviously, that didn't happen, but feel the show could benefit from some more space, kind of in keeping with what we were just talking about. I found it very interesting. This wasn't the first show to do it, but it was interesting that they actually came out and said that this was how the format was going to be. I don't watch the show, but American Horror Story, coming back for its 13th season, but it's called something else. They don't call it, here's season 13 with the same characters.
Weird Rubber Guy, part 2.
Yeah, it's like an anthology thing.
Yeah.
The episodes, there's 12 episodes, half an hour long. Half an hour long.
All right, okay.
Murderbot, another show, which is perhaps a little more like of a comedy-ish kind of thing.
Very much a comedy.
Yeah.
I don't know what the books aren't, but okay.
Yeah, half-hour episodes. And even
and
Moffat...
there's what, 10 episodes?
10 or 12, I want to say. Even Moffat, Stephen Moffat said in that Doctor Who magazine recently about like the future Doctor Who, like the TV can now get shorter now. We don't need to cram it into a broadcast window. Is the time right to become once again a serialized show?
I mean, I've seen her call The Mandalorian doing that a few times. The Mandalorian would just, if it needed to be 30 minutes, it was. If it needed to be 45, it was. You know,
right?
It depended on the episode.
Yeah.
Especially when it goes out on a streaming platform rather than traditional broadcast TV, you definitely have that flexibility of, okay, this feels like 35 minutes, let's go with that. This feels like 45, let's go with that. And you can get away with it because you're not rigidly
betrothed to it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, talk about RTD, for example. There were how many episodes in his run that they weren't 45, they were 50, they were 60, 71 minutes in the case of one of the.
I mean, Day of the Doctor is what, 66 minutes? They managed to cram a hell of a lot in
71.
that.
More.
71.
Yeah, Deep Breath I think is the longest. It's 76, I think it is. Yeah.
But there's and fair enough. That's going out on BBC One and all that. But the structure of BBC broadcasts has never been the same as say American.
No.
Like Doctor Who was on at 5:35 p.m. or whatever the heck time it was, like something that isn't the top or the bottom of the
always
hour.
baffled me as a child.
Yeah. I mean, and let's face it, by the time Doctor Who comes back, and it is going to come back, what will the broadcast landscape be?
Vertical reels, 30 seconds each. That's what it'll be. I never said I liked it. I just said
I think I hope fully that the transition to streaming, which is just as much as I kind of dislike streaming, it is the way it is going, and it'll adhere itself to that more so than fitting into a specific broadcast window. There's no real reason to do it for the Disney Who because it was going right on Disney Plus. It was just this weird amalgam of we're doing this for a BBC schedule, but also it didn't need to be that because BBC schedules are more flexible now too. There didn't need to be that. So you can do it. You can do 30 or 35-minute episodes. Why not? Just tell the story in as much time as you feel you need to, basically, and not cram stuff in just for the sake of timing.
Yeah.
That's how you get more episodes.
Or have to cut a whole bunch of stuff for the same reason.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But don't add extra junk just because you can either.
No.
So, which people are sometimes guilty of. So
What I would prefer to see is, and this is the same complaint that was made of the Shutigawa era, or the same complaint that people make about Strange New Worlds, is you've only got this 8, 10, whatever episode run. You need more oomph throughout. You can't. There's not as much room to waste an episode, as it were, when you had 13, 14 in a year.
Yeah.
So you need more. You need more focus, and the fact that, 8 episodes of season 14 or 15, there were episodes where there really wasn't that great focus, or arbitrarily extended to 2 episodes when really one could have been enough. So that's what I would like to see.
Yeah. Also, the money involved, and I want less money involved.
Yeah,
10 episodes that are cheaper, fine by me. Because there's this whole thing where you have to justify spending all this money on some episode that doesn't really warrant it.
So watching the season 21 Blu-rays, for example, the behind the sofa for the Twin Dilemma, like Matthew Waterhouse, for example, he's like, those sets looked really, really good, given the budget constraints of the last story of a season,
right?
How that often went. I wholeheartely disagree with the man. I think Twin Dilemma looks very, very shoddy.
Very.
But the fact is they had so much money, or only so much money, and they did what they could with it, sometimes to better effect than others, but they worked their butts off to make the most out of that budget, and I think the unlimited money, or what may as well have been unlimited money for the Disney Plus era, that was too much. I think humans work, maybe not best, but quite often work very well when more constraints are added. To develop that creativity and
I'm not sure what the budget of Battlestar Galactica was, but that was a sci-fi show. It didn't have that much money, and it looks spectacular, frankly. So it can be done.
The reboot you're talking about.
Yeah, the reboot, yes. Well, the original, what they shot for a pile of money and then just reused over and over, also looked pretty good.
Well, this is where a serialized show can come in handy again, where you're basically using, the same sets across more episodes, and letting the drama play out over that. The curse of Doctor Who, let's face it, ever since it came back, has been making, basically 10 stories a year with entirely new sets. It's funny that they thought of this. Like, let's make a serialized show every single week in 1963, and we'll have different sets every week. They shouldn't have done it, honestly. It was dumb, but they did it.
And as we mentioned more than once, when, as Moffat said to us directly, I mean, the one standing set you have is the one you try to get away from the fastest.
Yep.
They didn't do that as much back in the day. So do more stuff in the TARDIS with other stuff, obviously. Yeah. And have it be a lower key TARDIS. It doesn't need to be this giant bauble that looks great. Yeah. It's a cool set, but doesn't actually contribute anything, really.
But does that give us more Journey to the Center of the TARDIS type stuff?
Well, didn't really work. No, I'm talking more like Tom Baker, Peter Davison years, where there's some stuff where the TARDIS is involved, and then you go off and do something else.
Sure. I mean, look at, just to pick a couple back-to-back stories. You got Logopolis and Castrovalva. TARDIS is a big factor in more than just the starting and ending of those.
Invasion of Time. Bring back Invasion of Time. That's all I'm asking for here.
And they just had the disused hospital. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's how you get more episodes. All right. Wow, this is a long one, kids, but we're doing it. Next fluid link. Crazy. Rushed into the finish here, maybe a little bit. Who knows? But next question. This is another starting a new era kind of thing. You have to kick off the new series in 2028 or whenever with a remake of one of the past Doctor's debut stories. Which one are you choosing? We have to remake the first story of a Doctor Who.
Well, not 11th Hour, because I think it's structurally perfect.
Perfect as is.
Yeah.
It's almost blasphemous to remake an Unearthly Child. Can
Robot, baby. We're remaking Robot, and we're making the effect even worse.
I would go with the Twin Dilemma.
Oh, that kind of writes itself, doesn't it? Oh, wow, yeah.
I mean, that's I would pick from the lesser lights.
Yeah, I would too.
So there's the opportunity to improve it. So whether it's I mean, I'm not going to knock the casting necessarily. Maybe the direction, and the set design again could have been definitely improved if it wasn't the last one of the season. But it's I don't know that I would necessarily have the Doctor strangling his companion.
No, sir.
Or some of the other things like the especially these days, 40 years after the fact, the costume for Mestor could be a heck of a lot better.
Right. I would rewrite it a little bit, because one of the big problems with the twin dilemma, there are twins that can't act because they were just cast because they're twins. But here's the thing about this. There's literally no reason for there to be twins in the twin dilemma. Nothing about them being identical is ever played in any way, shape, or form. There's
They're just
never
math geniuses who talk at the same time.
Right? Like there's no reason for it, which always astounded me. So if you're going to remake it as the twin dilemma, you make a reason why they are twins, and then you can have one pretend to be the other and vice versa. And that's what you do with twins. That's what's part of the fun.
I have a little out of left field, and you won't expect this from me. What if you remade Time and the Ronnie? Because what you do is you make it a showcase of affordable, cool new effects that you can do right on a lower budget. Right. You make it camp as hell because throughout the entire run of both shows, a core group of fans is gay dudes. They're going to love the campness of this. And you bring in the Ronnie, who's a maniac, but it's to people just starting to watch. She's this great, crazy villain. And you've got this weird, and they don't look like stupid people with feathers on them. They look like actual birds or something, right? Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah.
Didn't they already do that, Warren? You literally just said everything about Time of the Ronnie. Make it camp, make it look cool.
Yeah, I know, but this is a debut for people who've never seen it before again. We're redoing it. You had to redo it, right?
I know.
And also, what you do is you just make it camp and kind of gay,
it's
but
already
not
camp
in the RTD. Hold on. But not in the RTD, aren't we being progressive way, just in the more, this is a hell of a lot of fun way.
I like the John Nathan Turner circa 1987 way, basically.
Yeah, but it's being remade for the modern age. So
I understand.
You see what I'm coming from?
You are keeping the theme of that, but making it modern and
completely reintroducing the show in this manner.
Right.
For the people who've always stood by it, gay people. So
if you want to bolster the camp, then I think the Ronnie needs to be played by maybe not Jinx Monsoon, but a drag queen.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like Jinx Monsoon.
I've never said I would like. I don't think I'd like this very much, but I want this show to be something new and interesting, and also reward the people who've been loyal as hell to it. So.
I never thought I'd say this, but I think I'd choose the twin dilemma.
I did say I was out of left field, and I didn't say I wanted to see it. So,
all right. Well, next fluid link. This one comes from Mike. Which will come first? It's more speculation than anything. Which will come first? A new animated Blu-ray release or a Film is Fabulous announcement about more missing episodes?
That's a toughie.
I'm gonna guess animated Blu-ray release.
I think so too. I
haven't heard
more of a sure thing.
I haven't had boo about that in a while.
No, we haven't. Neither have we heard about the next Blu-ray set in general at this point. Which I mean, there's only 2 color era releases out there to come. 3 if they do a wilderness years. But I'm gonna say Film is Fabulous is doing fantastic work, but given the volume of stuff they are dealing with, and just the volume of British stuff in general that is out there, I think the master plan episodes were not a one-off necessarily, but they were definitely not.
Shouldn't get used to it. Yeah.
They're I don't know that we're going to see anything from them for quite a while. Just like, Philip Morris back in 2013 had these 9 episodes, almost 10.
Right.
And then, other than his public opinion on certain things, have really heard nothing from him forever.
I would go with animated over missing episodes, because missing episodes means you got to find them, whereas an animated thing implies you've already got this thing you're working on. So that makes...
And animated stuff as well, because we don't have we have the season 2 Blu-ray because there were two episodes we didn't have, so it was far and away the most complete of anything we had from the black and white era. We don't have that same luxury. Like season 1's not too bad relative to some other years, but we don't yet have, say, the Highlanders or Warren, the one your go-to, Space Pirates, or
it's more like
Space
Steven Needling one, but
but I mean we have a lot of stories that haven't yet been animated that could be if the money's and desire is there.
I kind of would like to see a Space Pirates animated, just so we've got something. Not that I love it particularly, it just would be nice to have as like a thing.
Yeah.
On top of anything else, thanks to the efforts of multiple people over the years, we have all the audio. We have that basis. I would, I don't know. I'm going to throw a third thing in there and say more Ian Levine AI recon.
Oh my
Absolutely
God.
not. You should go to.
We're definitely going to have those before either.
Oh, of course we are. But also, we don't want them.
We don't want them.
We don't want them. No.
All your criticism of my time on the Randy idea are now wiped from the record. thanks to this suggestion.
Yeah, I this isn't me tipping my hand or anything like that. I think there'll be more missing episodes before there's an animated one. If only because, there's an active search and curation going on with different film connections.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whereas, as of right now, no one's really making Doctor Who animate. Like, where's the budget coming from? Are the BBC going to put it out? I don't know. I feel like money has to be presented to make an animated thing, whereas opposed to effort has to be done to find a missing episode. I think the finding is probably easier to do right now than the funding and the making, if you know what I mean.
Well,
I'm not saying either is imminent, but I think hopefully Film is Fabulous with their work is probably closer to finding another missing episode than perhaps a new animated Blu-ray is going to be greenlit. Of course, watched Monday morning, a new thing will be released, and this will all be moot. But that's my thought.
We also don't have to worry about fan backlash over like animation styles or something, like all the people
That's true.
That reviled the Celestial Toymaker.
They're wrong. Mm-hmm. It works perfectly well with the story.
It is such a mind-bending story that I think works very well.
Exactly.
You can't do that with the Highlanders, though.
Or can you?
Watch the space. All right. Next, Fluid Lake. Here it is. After 20 years of podcasting about Doctor Who, what have you found is the Doctor Who opinion hill you die on? This is from Ian McCann over on Facebook. What opinion you would die on the hill?
Oh man,
that's tough, man.
Have we? I don't know. I feel like over the years our opinions have sort of like altered and
that's true. Yeah.
Evolved. Especially you, Chris. Dare I say? I think you were very, very pedantic.
Me too.
A little bit too.
Pessimistic.
But, yeah.
I've definitely lightened up as I've aged.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. My go-to is always Gordon Tipple. It doesn't get enough love.
Canonical master. Yeah. TV movie.
Well, yeah, and especially now in the wake of the 4K release of the TV movie and whatnot, where you've got in the broadcast version you've got Paul McGann doing the voiceover for the Dalek and the planets in the eyes, the opening stuff.
Yeah.
But Gordon Tipple recorded a voiceover for that, which is on the discs.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he could have had more exposure and didn't.
Wow. All right. Chris to die on is Gordon Tipple. Warren, you going to top that? Or?
Mine was that the Skeleton Master from Deadly Assassin is the best master ever, full stop. But I've revised that because Missy is better. So I can't really go with that one. I'm kind of struggling here.
You've also got way more of Missy than you ever had of the Skeletal Master.
True, yes. But he's kind of a one-note pony. That's a great, great note. And she is just bar none the best master as far as I'm concerned. I'm just trying to think here.
I'm still a Sacha Dhawan stan, but that's not going to be my
good, but he ain't.
That's not going to be my hill.
Yeah, I'm running out of hills here. I don't I'm running down that hill.
Stephen, what's yours? Milo Clancy is the best ever.
If they ever cast anyone who isn't British as the Doctor, I think that's wrong. I think
that's a whole lot of us die on.
Not that there's. I don't think that's going to be a threat, but I don't like that is the one thing that I think is just utterly crucial to have a British Doctor.
Is it just British Doctor, or should we broaden that to like British production overall? Because that's they've got their own unique sensibility versus North American culture and whatnot.
They do, and I think one of my personal issues with the recent era, as I think they almost like leaned too hard because they felt they had to lean too hard to reassure everyone that they were British, and perhaps to a fault. They didn't have to be so overt about it before until they were sharing co-production funding with Disney. Now it doesn't matter as much, so you don't have to like have them show up on trailers for EastEnders or stuff like that. All right, you're British, all right. You don't need to flaunt it or anything like that. So yeah. Doctor Who remaining. I sound like a Leave voter here in Brexit, but no, for it to remain British, I think is kind of essential. So
its passport must be blue.
Yeah,
its Britishness is baked into, despite being created by a Canadian.
Yeah,
its Britishness is baked into its everything. Mm. So I don't want to see that disappear.
No.
Mm-hmm. So I like yours, Stephen, is what I'm saying.
Oh, thanks.
I'm really struggling here. I'm having a hard time thinking of anything, to be honest.
Warren, that means you've evolved. It means you've grown.
I guess
up.
so. Yeah, I suppose.
How about that?
Well, find something from the McCoy era, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, no, I kind of don't mind Christopher Fenrick anymore.
That's true.
The ones I hated, I just don't. No, Ghostlight's terrible. I'm never going to not. There you go. Ghostlight. Ghostlight is an absolute pile of incoherent garbage. Chris, I know you disagree with me.
Love it to bits.
Exactly. So I will never back down from that one.
You were both dying on that hill, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. If you've been counting, everyone, this is the 20th Fluid Link for 20 years. That means it's the last one. Here it is. That's why this damn episode's so long. We're asked 20 of these. We're not doing 21 Fluid Links next year. I guarantee you that. This is the question from Richard on Blue Sky. The question for 20th anniversary Fluid Links. If you could travel back 20 years and whisper something about the future of Doctor Who in the ear of your younger selves that they would not believe, what would it be? For example, mine would be John Hurt would be the Doctor.
Okay.
20 years ago.
When I was a kid, I had no idea who John Hurt was. So
probably
I
not
did,
me.
actually. I don't remember what from, but I did know who he was.
Mm-hmm.
Alien, maybe?
Maybe, or he's the voice of Aragorn in Lord of the Rings, the animated version.
Yeah,
Alien.
yeah, maybe.
Spaceballs. He was in that scene in Spaceballs, Chris.
Oh, yes. Oh, no, not again.
Yeah,
Yes.
there you go.
Completely original with nothing to do with
Nothing to
Alien.
do at all, no.
Oh, man.
What would
Yeah, that's a tough one, too.
I mean,
My answer is always going to be, hey, you're going to, interview this person or sit and have a drink with that person or whatever,
Right.
like we talked about in whatever earlier Fluid Link. That's the most unbelievable thing. Or I guess maybe just to, say the right thing.
right.
Meeting, and Stephen, this is for both you and I, meeting our respective spouses through
That's
the
what,
podcast.
Yeah.
And then, Doctor Who in general.
That's kind of what I was going to say. Like, if my younger self, or my older self, I guess, came to me and said, hey, you're going to have friends all over the world. You're going to go to a bunch of different countries because you know people and hang out with them.
Yeah.
I would not believe it. It'd be like the past 20 years have been kind of insane for the amount of people and we've made friends with and people we've interviewed. And then, I just went and stayed with friends in Sweden because I know them through Doctor Who stuff.
Yeah.
Right? That kind of stuff.
Your life will change for the better.
Exactly. Yes.
And will continue to get better for 20 years by doing this silly thing that you're about to do. Talking to a microphone that you would have
an
no
American
idea how.
PBS station.
Yeah,
that you saw originally.
Yeah, it's yeah. I don't.
Canadians who grew up on watching this British show on American television.
Yeah, I wouldn't believe it. I'd say, who the hell are you? Why are you
Damn,
still
you look old.
Why are you still so good looking?
I would insult myself.
But I don't believe you. But thanks for the advice. Now go away. We've got to talk about Doctor Who for half an hour if we can make it that long. And here we are 3 hours into this. And with our lives completely different. Yeah. I don't think I'd believe it.
No.
But it's true. But it's true. Well, that is it, everyone. Thank you, as always, for playing, not a game, Fluid Links. On syndication, this one will be split into four-part episodes as well. So find where. Listen, this thing's coming out a day early. You can listen to it in chunks, but we do apologize for the duration of this sucker. This might be our longest show ever that we did do a commentary in or something like that. But listen, thank you all for 20 years of this crazy, silly show, of all the nice things you've said to us, and in person or online. It is very much appreciated. It's nice to say that we aren't, unlike back in episode 1 in August of 2006, we aren't just talking to ourselves, that there are a whole bunch of people out there listening. So thank you all. You two have any final thoughts?
I think you pretty much encapsulated it. And we just did in the last question answer too, really.
That's good too. All right, Chris, anything?
No, I'm spent.
Good. All right. Next week, hey boy, we talked about bringing things back. Well, we're bringing something back next week, kids. The return of the time lash is happening next week. Yep, where we look back at this week in history to see what was going on that week in history. We last did it 4 or 5 years ago. Stuff has happened since then, so that is what we're going to do. That's right. It's just going to be Doctor Who not nerds talking about Doctor Who every single week. Why not? After all, that's how it all started. In the meantime, and in between time, I am Stephen in Edmonton.
We're in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
So long for now.